with this. Okay, so apparently, welcome to the live stream that apparently we just arrived to 3 minutes late because I didn't know how to hit the live button. So anyway, the intro the first time was great, so just go with it. So
Oh,
happy
that's
Wednesday,
awesome.
everybody. Welcome to Beyond the Rider live with my very special guest, Bodine52 in Denver Woods, sitting in with me. And no, Dallas, I'm not drunk. I just don't know how to hit the buttons. Man, this just went downhill quick. Mute your phone, Denver. All right, so let's try this again. So, Mr. Bodie, the first take was good, but try it again. It's always better second time.
Dude, I can't. I'm not going again. That was my best intro ever.
Okay.
That was awesome.
I'm seeing
Especially
a bunch
with
of
the fireworks in the background, it was.
exactly. I see a bunch of our friends in the chat. But if you don't know me, I am Bob. I go by Bodine52. I have a 21 Road Glide Limited and a 2000 Road King, and happy to be here. It's a big day. Big day.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Bob, for coming with us. In Denver, tell us about yourself.
I'm the V Twin Life. Recently moved this stuff to YouTube, exploring this whole new avenue that I've wanted to do. Want to your great advice and help on getting to over here, and I got a 2004 Road Glide that I enjoy riding with and spending time on, and it's a good time.
You probably shouldn't listen to me anymore since I can't handle the live button, but one day I'll figure it out.
Yeah, one day, hopefully.
So, what do you guys think? Did anybody else need a cold shower after the event? Because I think I did. That was wow. I will say this: Harley brought it out this year. I thought it was interesting. I'm not sure of some things, but I mean, let's just go for it. What was your first thought, Bob? What is your feeling on this new Harley Davidson?
You know what? This is bad, but my first thought was, how many people are going to go, this was great? And how many people are going, they're not doing it again, right? That was my first thought when they were rolling the intro, right? I think it's cool. I think it's interesting. I'm one of those guys that really worry about what I ride, and I would say in the past, a passing interest as they roll these out. Probably don't make a big of a deal of it. But it was kind of pretty cool to watch, Harley's master at throwing these things out there, and going to get a lot of people that love it and don't. I'm sure we're going to get more details. Love some of the new colors. Think the new bike is going to be pretty cool and pretty quick based on its weight and the motor. And 2 years ago, people were always complaining Harley didn't do anything. And I don't hear that anymore, right? They're doing something, whether you like it or not. So I think it was a good half hour or so show for sure.
Yeah, I thought that it was interesting that they always do. They always talk about their history. I thought they left out a lot of things that browsing the new catalog that had come out, but I think that this bagger is going to. Both of the sport touring baggers are really going to excite riders. It's something different. And I think the CVOs, they just took to a whole new level. I mean, if you can get a trike with flames, what more can you ask out of life?
The CVO, I gotta say that they did some amazing paint schemes on them, but the new, if we're just gonna want to talk the baggers at the moment, the Street Glide, the Road Glide ST, I think the whole bagger racing league really woke them up, and I mean I was impressed. I can't wait to see one in person and go get a few miles on one. I think it's going to be pretty impressive. I bet just like you were saying, looking at the catalog, how you watching the video talk, they come with Olin suspension. But if you look at as me and Brian were talking a little bit ago, it looks like that's actually an option as, the way they presented it. In my opinion, it kind of looked like it came stock with them, but that doesn't appear to be so.
Are you saying that was a little marketing voodoo? I don't believe. Not from Harley Davidson.
Yeah.
They would never lie to us. It's yeah. So I don't know. So Bob, are you ready to trade your bike in already?
No.
Why not?
I mean, I like what I got. That's funny. And I'm one of those guys that always likes the new widget, the new phone, the new.
Hey, Whit.
What's up, Whit?
But first of all, I thought the colors were super cool. right? On the CVO for sure. I think that the performance baggers. I mean, and I don't know. We're going to talk about that. What's the big difference, right? In those, I think that's the key, and compared to what somebody has now, right?
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was interesting that now the CVO and the STs all have the same motor.
Yeah.
So there's not a the CVO seems to be a lot about show and not about go now. So there seems to be a pivotal change in what they're doing. Um, I would argue I probably don't need a 117 motor, but I mean it wouldn't stop me. I've done
Hey,
dumber
why
things.
not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, were people expecting the 131 and the CVO?
Yeah, I think a lot of people were
Yeah.
expecting the 131 because the CVO has always been, and they even said it's always been the premium upgrade. But I don't know. I also don't think that you need that big of a motor. I think there's a break point that you're going to push the motor beyond the capability of what the bike can handle.
I don't know. Maybe you should bring in sensor pendants.
This 131 broke, so we don't want to bring him in.
And maybe some capability of riders, right?
Well, yeah, and that's the thing I wonder too is if you build a stock bike like that, are you opening yourself up for problems?
And that's always been my question. You say with the 131 as opposed to, the 107 or 114, you put a stage one, you get to that 131. What is the actual longevity? How far is that motor going to run compared to something, when you just do a few mile upgrades to a stock bike just because you want to, just a little bit more performance, but you don't want to go overboard?
Yeah.
Where's the balancing act when it comes to that longevity of the engine?
Yeah, and I thought too the interesting thing with at least the ST Road Glide, because that's what got me excited. It's pretty stripped down for what it is. I mean, it's basically it's got the 117 in it, it's got the intake, but it doesn't have the Olins, it doesn't have a hyped up suspension. So they're definitely giving you more for that extra $2 or $3 grand. But it's not. Even they said it's basically a bare bike that you can build off of,
Yeah,
which I think is a pretty cool idea.
Brian, and I know we talked about the Olins, but they did talk about an upgraded suspension. So my question is, were they referring to that with the Olins that you got to buy, or is it the same suspension that you would get right now, or you would have got last year?
Here's what I'm finding. So if I go here, if we go to Chrome, and I can show you on this is what left me confused. So this is the ST website. If you go under the ST selection, it's telling you that these are upgrades. And the remotes, you can tell, aren't on the stock bike. So it looks to me as that is a upgrade, because it sounded to me when they did it, because if you go back to the actual bike, where are we? You do not see Olins with reserves on the back of the bike.
Yeah, I think it's definitely an option. I guess I asked Bry though, what's on it now? Is it the same suspension that's on it now?
Yeah, I think it's the same suspension they've been running.
So you got to throw $1,500 on top of it if you want to do the suspension, and then you're choosing Olins over something else that you may like better or not, right?
Yes. I'm just bringing my Legends with me. I don't care. My Legends are gonna die with me. They're lifetime guarantees.
And it just seems to me, if you watch the video, that they kind of made it seem that they came with the old ones is the way I took it. But then, you look farther and looks to be an upgrade. They don't come with it, but they were all preaching, and really pushing that Olins. Oh, we're doing this, we're doing that, but it's going to cost you more.
Well, I mean, I think it's fair with all three of us could say you buy a Harley Davidson, you don't think you're buying upgrades for it, you're kind of foolish. I mean, you got to have some bling, right? I don't think anything's ever going to come from Harley that's fully built out for that reason. But it's, I don't know. It's interesting. I think that there's some excitement now, because if they're bringing technology into a bike, could they bring a fully liquid cooled motor to the next generation. That would be cool. I'd be a big fan of that. So Bob, so you've had your bike how long? A year?
No, probably 7 months. Got it in the
Okay.
middle of summer. Yeah.
What are your thoughts? I mean, how do you feel about that now you've had time to break it in?
I I love it. I mean, typical stuff like bars and I actually flip mine forward, right, which helps. I haven't put bars on it yet. Not really done a whole lot to it yet, but I love the bike. I mean, I think the 114's been good. I've only got 5,000 to 6,000 miles on it, so not a lot of ton riding yet. I think I'm at the suspension stage right now, which is okay. What am I going to do? And after Colin and Bronco riding a lot, and you, Bry, put the Revos on, it's making me think I need to do that. So I spent, half of my morning figuring out, what I was going to do there, and then another half of it watching the show, right, from Harley. So for me, it's just finishing a stage one and maybe doing the suspension because I never thought the stock was that bad until my wife and I rode across the country on it. And then people would go, just ride my bike that has a different suspension on. You'll know what you're missing. Because sometimes you don't know what you're missing, right?
I wasn't a big fan of that bill to put Legends in the front and rear, but with Katie having back issues, that's what we went with. And we went not even a mile, and I was going over potholes, and I was asking her what she thought about the potholes, and she's like, "What potholes?" I'm like, there you go. Oh, and Hell's is a big fan of suspension technologies.
I heard that name. Who are they?
I do not know. I know of them, and I know that they're saying that they have a. So he's saying that they have a just as good a ride as Legends, better performance in half the cost. And one of the things that they do, I believe, tout is that they dyno their shocks, so the pairs are supposed to be perfectly matched. I don't know if that's marketing or not. And Hells, I'm not trying to insult you or anything, but I've never heard that term before, but I know that they're a reasonable they're a reasonable shock. But I don't know any more than that. But there's definitely some good. I would think a premium shock of almost any name's got to be good over the Harley stock, especially if you have a 14 with air suspension. I mean, a brick would have been a better shock.
Yeah, I guess we're always gonna go. Am I ever gonna get a bike from Harley that has everything I want on it? And the answer to your point is always gonna be no, right? Unless you're grabbing a CVO.
And I think even
I
at the
will help for
CVO,
sure. What's that?
even at the CVO level, I think it's going to be one of those deals where you're still going to have to add something. And I think that's the reason most people buy a Harley, right? You want something that's you can build out and make it your own.
Yeah.
Well, and that's where I've always said, I don't think you can say it with any bike, Harley, whatever you're buying, you're going to buy a bike, and basically, that is now, think of yourself as an artist, and that is your blank. You got a blank canvas. Make that your own.
Yes.
And there's lots of stuff to tweak and play with, but you buy something, okay, cool. I got my base now. Now where am I going to go from here? What do I want to do? And then you slowly make that yours. And that's all part of the whole adventure of owning one.
I don't think the non-Harley guys get that and gals get that though, right? It's like, why are you doing that when you can buy something else? We know because we're Harley folks, right? But
Yeah. And I think that there's and like Pete was saying, there's no bike that really has everything you want. But I think that that's the benefit of a Harley, and the bad side of a Harley. I think I've joked with you about this. There's a guy in the Harley plant making a motorcycle windshield, and poor guy, because the second that bike rolls out, the windshield's gone, the seat's gone. But I think that there's something to be said for making it a base platform. I think it would almost have been cool if they made the ST without they made the ST script of the GPS and everything else and made it a raw motorcycle, much like they did the Classic. I thought that would have been interesting.
yeah. Hey, did you guys hear? And I didn't catch this. I caught it at the beginning about, so is the sound system changing for everything? I remember hearing them talk about that early, but I really didn't get a good grip on is everything upgraded now I don't know
See,
if
they
you
were
caught
making
that.
it kind of sound like it a little bit,
Like it
with
was
the new
stock
Rockford Fosgate deal, but I don't know if that's going to be, platform wide on all their bikes. They didn't really specify.
I think that's an upgrade, except for the CVOs.
Yeah, maybe somebody in the chat knows. I got the impression was, oh, okay, hey, the radio's changing, the sound system's changing now on all the new bikes. That was the impression I got, but
And I think there's a part of it that they, like I said before, that they've crafted that really well.
yeah.
That you're not quite sure what you're getting because they're jumping around so much. But
Yeah,
the,
hey, Bryce, somebody said all Rockford, I think. That's what I
all
thought I
Rockford.
heard. That's
Okay,
what I thought I
I didn't
heard.
see that.
It was early.
I heard him talking about it.
Bronco Ride saying a Rockford on the ST. Okay.
That Bronco Ride is like, he must be work for Harley or something, man. This guy's got more info than anybody.
He was right. That blue was fantastic. He knew
That's
it.
right.
So Bronco Ride
going on.
is a good segue. Did you go through did you see the video that they put out after the event about the accessories that are available now? So they upgraded their boom headsets to Senna's 50 series, which I thought was interesting because they brought mesh finally into it.
I missed that. I don't
Yeah.
know if you guys saw that.
Well, it's a second video. It's a second
Oh,
video that they just put up on their website. But they're talking about subwoofers you can now put in your bags. They're talking about adding the Senna system, which is now compatible with mesh. They have the Senna with the camera like you have.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest downside to the Harley Davidson platform, if you want to go wireless, you have to go with the Whim. And if you go with the Whim, you've got to go with their branded Senna. Senna, however they pronounce it.
I have a
They
whole
get you.
That
Go ahead, rant, Bob. I can see it coming.
That freaking whim thing pisses me off. It's just me, right? So
why?
I don't know. Maybe because I have Apple CarPlay on my motorcycle for $15 because I put a plug in it, right? And I don't know. I'm just
now. How does that work though? That's a good question. How does that work with your headset? So you can hear the directions through your headset?
Mm-hmm. Get on the bike, right?
So it's not coming through the bike; it's coming through the headset.
Coming through the bike.
Oh, it's coming through the bike. Okay.
Coming through the bike, as long as you're plugged in, right? And if you're not plugged in, it's like anything else. So 15 minutes to put it on and $15 to get it, right? And I know there's more to that with the Whim than just that, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I like the I'm looking forward. I don't know. I like my wired headset. I'm old school.
See, I mean, I got the Lexan, and I really can't complain about it. It's been a great unit. But then, I'm also not riding a brand new bike that comes with some of the, the newer technologies with, riding the 04. But there's so many options now. And, Lexan had a lot of great stuff working for them, and their price for their platform, and man, you can't beat it. And it is, I got no complaints about it. The battery life is phenomenal. The Bluetooth, you can hook up 4 devices. I think now it's more. And it's a great unit. I'm pretty impressed. And, they even put a light on it. So at night, say you want to dig through your saddlebags, you can hit the button on the side, turn on an LED flashlight. You can light up everything. So you're still hands-free with a freaking flashlight. If you're looking through your saddlebags or your tour pack, you're on the side of the road somewhere. Not a bad feature.
Yeah, it's interesting. So Bob, what did you put pipes on yours, right?
I did. I did, and I'm thinking about finishing the stage 1 on it. And I know everybody's going to say no, go do stage 2 and all that other stuff. But I promised when I bought this bike I wasn't going to do anything to it, and here I go. Right, so.
Well, you got to have stage 2. You got to have the performance. That's what everyone said today. Harleys are too slow. You need more performance.
Yeah. No, it's been a great bike so far. I think some folks in the chat are talking about how the Senna works. I think even Jackie Boy said something about the Senna's work with the Whim, but the non-Harley branded won't be in stereo.
Yes.
So That's a big
Yeah, I
deal.
think that's I think Harley needs to get over that lockdown. They need to open it up to all brands, and I think Bluetooth should be built in at this point. I mean, I think we're at the point in our lives when everything should have built-in Bluetooth. I think it's kind of silly that you don't have built-in Bluetooth on a motorcycle.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah.
But then how do they get you for upgrades? That is the definitely the downside of it. So I saw another thing that I thought was interesting, and this I'm sure Colin's already over this one on this one. They're putting in a auto shift or a quick shift available for the Pan America, which I thought was interesting because that was one of the feedback they got that the GS 1250 has that the Pan America doesn't. So it's interesting to see Harley bringing in that technology of innovation rather.
Man, if I had one of those bikes, I'd be ordering that thing up pretty quick.
Oh yeah, and I have to wonder if that's not going to something that's going to come to the touring platform because BMW has that in their touring bikes. So I think that'd be pretty cool. It's a little, it's something a little different. I think it'd be kind of fun. It's interesting too that they the other thing I thought was interesting is that they're holding the events now quarterly, which I think is a little different. So we're not just gonna have the one big Harley event. Only the 2022s have the quick shift. Junior's calling you out, Denver. You better wake up.
Yeah, I know. I see that. What a clown.
That's just rude. Go ahead. Tell him you don't like him right here on the live stream.
You better ease up, my little Hawaiian brother. But
yeah, so anything else that stood out for you, Bob? Anything else?
The Lowrider ST. What do you guys think of the bags? Now, I'm 6'3". I'm a big guy. I don't see myself ever riding that bike. And I thought it was kind of cool. I was looking at it, and I look at the bags, and I'm like, that I'd have a hard time swallowing, but that's just my style.
I'm not a fan of the Lowrider. I mean, a little bit, but I got to say the Lowrider ST kind of sparked a little something. That's like, they're trying to, I don't know if they want to get into that, entice the younger age group, but it was kind of sharp. Yeah, the saddlebags, I don't know if you're going to have much room, but bringing in, the old school fairing that so many people are putting on it now and bringing that to you from the factory, it did kind of catch my eye. And it's another thing that definitely going to want to see in person, but I was kind of intrigued by it myself.
Yeah. So are the dealers having all the bikes? Now, I know I saw a couple, not the ones we saw today, but a couple days ago I was at the dealership and snapped some pictures, and I still find it interesting that these dealerships are almost like us. They're almost hearing and seeing the big surprises at the same time, which, I guess Colin and I were actually talking about this. Is it a business strategy or is it more because the dealers can't keep it quiet, right? I don't know, but still amazes me. I think maybe they get a day or two heads up on something like this, but nothing more than that.
If
that
that
surprises me a little bit.
Maybe they're finding out kind of about the same time we are. The Wonderland wants to keep it quiet so nothing leaks, and then it comes out.
Yeah, from the dealership I have a relationship with, that's what they're saying, right? Is I may find out a day quicker than you, but that's about it. And I think last year it was frustrating. I think now they know that's how it's going to be. So,
yeah, and I still have to wonder though, and we were talking about this. I still have to wonder if yesterday's kind of big run on leaks was set up. If that wasn't done purposely, it's going to get leaked if you release it to all your dealers. So it builds a lot of hype. I'm not a fan of that bike. Well, like you said, it's just not a bike for me. Yeah. For my size, I'd rather have the Road Glide ST. I think the bags are a little weird. And the one thing I didn't like was the headlight being pushed in on the SLT, the Lowrider ST. I don't like the way that the headlights set back. I think it looks a little weird, but again, it's not a bike that I'm buying, so it's not meant for me.
So does that get more people into buying that bike? What do you guys think is the market for that bike?
I think that's going to get you younger age group. Say you're 20 to 30-year-old range, maybe. Some of the guys that are more into the what you want to call that sports scene. You're getting into the kind of the wheelie scene with some of those guys that got the bags up higher. Your kind of younger age group that really wants to play more. I think that's geared towards that age group, but also maybe get them into more of a touring aspect bike also, but still have the hooligan style.
Yeah.
It's so impressive. I mean, I definitely want to check it out. See it in person. It did kind of catch my eye. I kind of love how they, bring the old school fairing onto it. It did have some different looks, but it's something different. And instead of having to spend the money to do that yourself, now it's going to, it's coming that way. You buy it off the showroom floor that way. I don't know. It might be interesting.
Yeah, Vern Moore says younger guys and women, and I somebody said Californians. I thought the same thing, which is okay. Where does that fit a younger crowd, right? Us old time bagger guys, right? Probably aren't ever going to go there, but we'll see, right?
That wheelie scene and the whole stunt side of it is really growing also along with I think a lot of this was driven from the Bagger Racing League, but now with that Lowrider ST, I think that's also kind of coming in from the stunt side, the wheelie guys, and they're kind of the freestyle guys are doing a lot of shit. I think that's going to drive that part of the market also for them.
Yeah, but are you going to do that with a bagger with a fairing? That fairing looks like it would get trashed the first time you drop it.
Yeah, but you put a good set of bars on it with the stuff guys are making, the crash bars and whatnot. Hey, you never know. Those are the bikes that guys are using for that. And, the lowriders getting popular. Guys are changing suspension, doing, some upgrades. Some guys, converting to chain drive, and, they're, pulling the fucking wheelies at 12 o'clock on them and having a blast with it. I think that's going to geared towards that whole scene.
Yeah, there's my buddy Mike. He's just picked up a road glide because he's torturing me. It's a beautiful road glide.
Yeah,
no, I'm not saying he's not smart. It's just he likes to torment.
You just need to pull the trigger, buddy. You got to come to the dark side. Come to the shark nose.
Shark Nation.
Enough talking. Get at it. Come on, man.
Well, yeah. I gotta wait till my channel. The problem is I don't want to tank too early. I gotta wait. I gotta wait till that moment's right. It's either that or I go to
another
Indian.
hat to your collection that says Shark Nation. Yeah.
Oh, you've got a point there.
That's right, buddy.
Okay. All right. I think that the mini bagger was interesting too because they even made the comment about that's Harley's bigger market is touring. I don't think that those bags scream big touring at the most, especially I don't like the clamshells, but it's interesting that they acknowledge that that's a big player for their market. So I think it's kind of cool. You could buy the smaller Lowrider ST, and then you could move into a Road Glide ST at some point. It keeps that lineage alive. Yeah, stepping stones for sure.
Hey, Brian, this is just my take, though. I mean, no doubt they make their money off big baggers. Let's just call it what it is, right? The margin they make on those bikes. So all those smaller, older bikes, right or wrong, are going away, right? So do they do the Lowrider S because, they think they can make some money off them and get maybe a younger crowd, and then they're just not considered a bagger company, right? Because I do know that their strategy is sell baggers to people that can afford them, right? I mean, it is what it is because that's where they make their money. So it'd be interesting. And I know it's a different conversation. I've been somewhat impressed the last couple of years on at least what they're trying to do. If you think back 2 years ago, and I always joke, for the new CEO, it takes time to turn an ocean liner. It's not a small boat, right? And he seems to be making some impact year on year, at least from my perspective. So
I think that you're absolutely right. I think he's onto something, and I think that it's going to take time. And, this was nice to see more than just paint, right? It was more to, you've got what, three, well, I don't know how many style bikes now that are new. So there's at least two, right? So there's Pan America, the Sportster. The others are variations of those models. But no, I think he's going to do great things for the company. And I'm curious that they mentioned at the end, they sort of made a big comment about how they have something big coming for the end of next year for their anniversary. So could that be what everyone's hoping for, which is that the Rev Max in a large large bagger? I don't know. That might be a common question.
He did say that there
He
was
knows everything.
He did say there was going to be more coming out in like Q2 and Q3, and I'm sure it'll be much smaller, or he would have announced it already. But it's getting the buzz up compared to where it was a couple of years ago. That is for sure.
And I liked how they left it and said, "Oh, we have more things coming in a few months," and it's not going to be just a standard yearly release where kind of everybody gets excited and then it dies out. I think that's important. I think you need to keep people excited. And I think these mid-year releases are going to do that. I mean, it's going to be like Apple, right? If you come out with a new bike every quarter, let's just say, or something interesting every quarter, it keeps people excited. It keeps people coming to your dealerships. Yeah.
Got a point.
DaBeard is in the house. Thank God.
DaBeard is here.
Thank God.
Yeah, that'll be curious. What are they what's the next lineup that they're talking about? More announcements coming in a couple months.
I'm going to be curious to see DaBeard on a Sportster S. That's what I want to see out of life. I just want to see a test ride video.
There you go.
I think we make it happen.
Well, I mean, that's what Ty from Tennessee has, right? The Sportster S, right?
Yes.
And first of all, you should check out his channel if you don't know him. He's got some great videos.
He's awesome.
But man, it's a pretty cool looking bike. That is for sure.
Yes. It's just it's definitely a small bike.
Yeah.
I don't know. I sat on one at the show and I was like a bear on a bicycle. I was a little like, no, I don't think this is my speed.
But
it's definitely interesting. Oh yeah, I'm sure it's got to be a ripping bike.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, think about that. What is that? What does that bike weigh? Right? What's the Sportster S weigh?
It's light.
Yeah,
light,
half of a bagger.
Yeah. Freaking kill myself on that. If I could fit on it, I'd kill myself on it. So, But I'll tell you what,
we can make it fit. Don't worry.
It sure does. When you watch these, it sure does make you think about. So I went exactly from watching this to going, I know I'm going to do stage one. Let me go to the Harley site, right, and start looking at stuff going, no, don't do it, right? So
here's a hypothetical question, Bob. We're going to put you on the point. So you have to get rid of your Road King, and you have to pick a current model. What would you buy?
I'm not getting rid of the Road King.
Okay, but let's say you had to.
You know what?
Look how uncomfortable Bob looks. Bob's like,
do I get my Ultra, the one I have now? My Road Glide Limited. I'm sorry, my Road Glide Limited. Do I get to keep that?
Yeah, you get to keep that. But then what would be
buy
the
the Road Glide ST?
Okay, so you'd have the performance bike and then the
Are we high-fiving to that?
No, my autofocus wonked out.
I can go for that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, DaBeard said it's hypothetical, Bob. There's no need to sweat. It's a completely hypothetical question.
What about you, Bri?
Oh, I'd go ST all the way. Road Glide ST. I think if I were to buy for the next bike, I think that the Road Glide ST makes a lot of sense. Get an Avan Black tour pack. Don't worry about the speakers. Don't worry about the back stuff. Get a clip-on tour pack. I think it'd be fantastic.
Oh yeah, give it to me in the gray. I'd go get it tomorrow.
Because then I'll rear my GoPro all the time. Because when I the back end kicks out and I crash, I could do it for the views. Because that bike might be a little too much for me. I'm not gonna lie, but it wouldn't stop me from buying it.
Have you talked to your wife if that ever happens that she should get your GoPro and mail it to one of us so we could?
I told her
a video and throw it out there.
You call 911, and the first thing you do is find a computer cafe and upload because it's all about
911. No, Brian, you call 811. They let you know where you can dig.
Well, I've already dug if I flip the bike.
Hey, Brian, DaBeard's like, you guys don't ride over 55. What are you talking about, performance bagger? But 55 is fast, man. I don't wanna-
Bodine, heard of Bodine. DaBeard, I'm going to get to 55 very quick and then I'm going to ride very safely, blasting Lawrence Welk. Don't judge me.
Lawrence Welk.
You know what? Hey, El Buffalo is saying, have you looked into suspension technologies? Okay, so that's 2 people now, right?
Yeah.
Maybe I should look at that.
Maybe this is like an occult thing.
Yeah, I think he has a video. I remember seeing a video on his channel about that too. So,
Russ Wernemont, look up him. He's been in suspension for a long time and now has moved to bikes. I mean, he started with Baja back in the Ivan Ironman Stewart days and is now doing motorcycle suspension. I know a few guys personally that have gone to him and they absolutely love it.
Guy gets an ADV bike and he's calling us out. You see that?
yeah.
Is that because he doesn't? Is that because he doesn't have a limited? He's got a street glide.
Yeah, but I would say Bronco Ride, even though he won't say it. Bronco Ride can get after it, no doubt.
Okay.
He can get after it.
Is it the lights that make him look faster?
I told you the first time I rode behind the guy, I'm like, dude, we got to change positions because I'm stroking out with all the lights that flash out of the back here, right? And I really wasn't kidding either, right? So, you think somebody, and I guess this is for both you guys, you think somebody looked at that today and go, I got to go to the dealership. I need one of those, or I want one of those, or I'm going to make a move now.
Oh, I'm sure it happened.
After the event, I went down and put the I put the replay on and I showed Katie the CVO and she looks at me and goes, I can't decide which one we want, the green one or the red one with flames. I'm like, if you're serious, we're leaving to go to the dealership. I'm like, we're going.
I'd be like, I love you. Let's go. Right?
Yeah. I mean, nothing says I love you like a CVO.
Yeah.
Man, DaBeard's harsh.
It's because
he's getting with it tonight.
Hey, you know what? If you don't give people you love crap, that means you don't like them. So that's good.
This is true.
Uh-oh.
Hey, what do you think, Brian? I know you posted a picture of the colors on the CVO. What did you like?
I love that red bike, and I just got an IM. Somebody's about to come on and take this to a whole nother level. So royalty is about to arrive in 10 minutes. So stand by.
The red with the black flames on the CVO, dude, I loved it. It was freaking gorgeous. But honestly, I just don't think I would never pull the plug on a CVO at the price tag they want. That's just too much for my blood, but I like it.
All right, so here's my hypothetical situation, right? I turned 50 this year. So if I buy a CVO and I take super good care of it, I could rebuild the motor. Why not just have a CVO and have it for a long time?
Wait, I'm not saying that's hit 55 and get your AARP and you're golden, buddy.
I mean, to DaBeard's point, I'm only doing 55. How much stress can that put on the engine?
You know, as road glide guys, don't you want to go ride? And I think Marine Rider said it. Don't you want to go ride one of those STs?
Yes.
That's what I want to really do is go by the dealership and get on one of those.
Now, which ST though?
Come on. The only bike there is a road glide.
The road glide? Yeah.
Hey, after that video aired, I went by the same dealership twice and I wanted to pull in there in my semi and stop and say, when? Just give me a date and I'll be here.
You could load a bunch of bikes in the back of the truck, right?
I got a 53-foot flatbed. I could have put a bunch of them on it.
There you go.
I guess the answer is, why aren't you working for Harley Denver and maybe, a bike falls off the truck? I mean, it could happen.
Absolutely. It could happen. And shit.
I mean, it could happen. I think there's going to be a lot of people. And I know Crystal of Hell's on Twos is already put her down payment on an ST for the lowrider SST. So I think it's a fantastic decision. I think that there's a lot of people out there that are making big moves for these bikes.
Can she get that bike right now?
No, but my understanding, she put it down. She put a deposit down on it.
That'll be cool to see that.
Yeah, I think so too. And maybe that's what we should all do. We should all go buy new bikes and we'll just write it off. It helps the channel build, right?
That's right. I'll go pick up that Road Glide ST the day it hits the floor.
So you're talking about buying a new bike for the channel? That's commitment right there, brother.
Yeah. Well, I only got like 50 more subs. I can get to 2,000. And then, with that YouTube check, I can afford. Oh, no, I can only afford the gas in the bike. So I won't pay for the bike. But,
Oh, you could get gas once a weekend. Well, 1 weekend a month.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, so Bronco Ride saying that's probably coming in March. Interesting.
He's like the Harley whisperer, isn't he?
I think there's more to this. I think there's some insighting going on there.
I think they consult with him is what I think, and they should. So
maybe he didn't pay for that adventure bike. Maybe they gave it to him. Maybe he's part of their marketing.
Yeah, just doesn't want to talk about it. He's humble like that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. But hey, if you can, you can.
Yeah, there you go.
So we've all agreed we're going to go out and buy Road Glide STs tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Brian, can you send me your bank account information? I just need your account number.
What were the other colors on the CVO? Was it a yellowish? When I first saw it, I was like, I don't know what the name of all the colors are, Brian. I don't know if you have that there.
No, I can bring it up.
Banana.
Hold on a second. A fellow New Jerseyan is harassing me. Hold on a second. So if we go, what colors you want to say? So we want which bikes?
What's available on the new CVO?
So the new CVO is that crazy yellow that I'm not a fan of.
Yeah, when I first looked at that, I was like, ugh. And then I look at it and go, that's pretty cool. I bet it's even cooler in person. But you know what that reminds me of? That's the bike that you buy in that yellow and go, this is really cool. And then 1 month later, you walk out in your garage and see it and go, oh my God, what did I do? Right?
Yeah, see, that doesn't scream good life choices. This I like.
No.
And that the red, obviously, I love.
I like that one right there. I'd take that in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was the one before that?
So that's the yellow.
Nah, not that one.
It needs to be brighter.
That's not bad.
That's not bad. I mean,
yeah.
No, that screams you're in your 60s and you're having a midlife crisis.
Dude, I've been having one for 20 years.
I thought that's why I bought an Ultra Limited. I have a midlife crisis.
Yeah, you bought an Ultra. You're not fully committed. You didn't go with a Shark, but
Red is at no extra cost, Pete says.
They did not have any Road Glides that I could afford at the time. So
you should have went to another dealership, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you're on the East Coast. You got to have like 100 of them within 50 miles.
True.
There you go. Very cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't. I think that they've got some really good things coming, and I think that it's going to bring a lot of attention to Harley. And if you can get that younger rider with a sports performance bike, I mean, let's face it. I may not ride to a sport performance level, but I wouldn't stop me from buying an ST. I just want to look cool.
Yeah, but I mean, all of us, you get some of those, twisty back rows, and who doesn't have fun just, really grabbing a gear, laying it down. Say, hey, you know what? Let me see if I can grind some floorboards and really have fun and just hit these twisties.
You meet the nicest people that ride Hondas. Hey,
oh yeah.
Hey, Bri, are you telling your wife when you get the Road Glide ST that she can no longer ride in the back with you? Is that the plan? Or?
No, she can. You can put a 2-seat on there.
Can you?
Yeah. I'm thinking the CVO, I do a reaction video, and then she beats me on camera, and I mean, think of the views.
Yeah, and then you put that wild ass in the back seat, and she'll be happy.
Look at Mr. NASCAR over here dropping sponsorship names. Come on.
Hey, even you said, you were, needing to go that route because she wanted that extra comfort, and you guys could just enjoy more miles. It's a win-win for you, buddy.
She did.
Your wife's going with you.
Well, now she's going to. Now she's going to enjoy the bike even more. It's a CVO. I mean, think of all the comments she'll get when people see her on a CVO.
Are you going to get the special jacket that says CVO also?
Oh, absolutely. And I'm going to bring up the fact that I have a CVO every time someone asks me.
Yeah, matching helmets and also you guys can just be
Oh,
like
absolutely.
in a fucking pod.
I tell people I know Bodine 52 and I have a CVO. I mean, what's not to like about me?
Oh shit! You just exploded.
I wanted to see. You know what? I was surprised I didn't see, or maybe it's coming. A Road Glide trike. I think that would have been interesting.
Dude,
Hey,
you
just
got
call
screwed
up
up
me.
as soon as you turned 50, didn't you? You lost it. You're already
Well,
thinking about trikes.
I mean,
Yeah.
think about it. They dropped the Ultra, or they dropped the Road Glide Limited from the CVO line this year. I'm sorry, not the Road Glide. See, this is where I always get confused. They dropped the Limited from the CVO line. Oh my God, why am I stuttering with this?
Because Bodine brought up a good point. You're already talking about getting a trike. Are you aging yourself that much, Brian?
And you're
No.
forgetting what you're saying. It's okay, dude. We still love you.
Yeah. Yeah, we won't think any less of you when you're on a trike. We might
That's
not
right.
wave at you, but
Please
you know,
help support Bri. Hit like
They dropped the Electra Glide CVO, so they are putting more of an emphasis on the Road Glide, which I think is a smart marketing move.
Yeah.
I still think that the Road Glide's going to wind up being the Ultra Limited. Yeah, I knew that's what I meant, Muggy. Sorry.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be the bike to really change Harley. I think Road Glide's really where it's at.
I like to think so.
Because I'll tell you what, you go in my dealer, you don't see them. You don't see any on the floor anymore.
That's because they've all been bought. Everybody's smart.
Hey, Brian,
some of those guys on the East Coast actually have a brain. I don't know.
You guys think from a marketing standpoint, I know we've always talked this, I think that's where Harley is genius, right? When did they used to roll these out? I know this is the second year in a row that's been January, February, but do you guys remember when it was? Was it?
I believe it was like September, wasn't it?
September, October?
I think so.
And you know what's interesting? I was just thinking, at least for me, you know, they do it right at the time. First of all, it was -2 degrees when I got in my truck this morning to go to work. But how do you?
Shit,
man, we got some. Look at the good looks we got now. Hey, man.
What's up, fellas?
Dude,
Hey, thanks for jumping on.
do you find that they do it in this time of the year because they're doing it, rolling stuff out when everybody else isn't, and right to start getting people excited for springtime?
No, I think they're rolling it out because it's almost tax return time.
There's something to be said
They're going to roll out the market before everybody starts filing taxes, and a couple of weeks everybody's going to be money happy because hey, I just got my return, and Harley will say, "Look what we got."
Well, but I think it makes more sense you buy a bike in the beginning of the season and not the end. I mean, that seems kind of silly. Yeah. Why would you buy a bike in September or December and you can't ride it?
Yeah.
Oh man, where you live. I apologize to you guys. It's about to get ugly. I mean, beautiful.
Oh shit!
Yo.
Damn.
This is for that whole some people on the East Coast know what they're doing thing. Like,
Oh man.
He just came on to flip us off. That's it.
Why are you so mean, Monkey?
Getting glare off that head.
Hey, dude, can you put a hat on? Holy shit.
Fixed it. All right, that's fixed.
Oh shit!
Oh, nice.
So it's called the Ultra Limited, Bri, because it's ultra limited. It's not so common.
What are you gonna move on from that? I moved on from that.
Like that? Yeah, Denver liked that. See?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, but if I have one, it sounds like you shouldn't. You know what I mean?
Oh, it just sounds like you bought something nobody else can want.
I mean, I bought it. The heated grips melted like the first year I had it. I don't know that there's that much ultra in that bike, but that's okay.
Yeah, but they put the
but
same.
You paid the ultra price tag.
It's the same motorcycle, right? It's the exact same motorcycle. Just
Yeah.
Here's the thing. So everyone said like, "Oh, are you going to get a CVO?" And I was like, if there is an orange flamed Road Glide CVO, yes, because I'd seen some of the like teaser stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then you come out, I'm like, the paint I want's on the damn trike, I'm like, so I checked the website and they're making the Road Glide CVO in that green flame, which isn't bad, but it's got a black motor, and I like chrome.
Yeah, me too.
So no, won't be getting a CVO Road Glide because, in my opinion, they missed.
Sorry.
Guess
She
who's
had
off
one
camera right
job.
TJ, you like that trike?
You know what? Look, I'm not a trike guy, but I saw that and I was like, my dad's gonna want that shit. Like bad.
Hey, dude, you popping wheelies on the trike was one of your best videos. You should get one, I say.
Yeah, it's you know, the funny thing is not many people watch that video. But yeah, I saw that and I yelled out to the wife. I'm like, oh, Dad's about to go in a whole lot of debt. Like,
You're gonna be taking crap off his bike right now in like a week and making.
He probably is at home right now. Let's get the mufflers off and that, you know.
Exactly.
Time to strip it down. Performance trike. Here we come.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Oh, an ST trike. You're
No.
onto something.
No. Dude, I've ridden the old man's. There ain't nothing performance about that thing. It weighs 9,000 pounds. Like, it just, you know.
Oh, that's funny.
It's like riding a quad, right? Same thing.
Yeah, and it also kind of doesn't turn. Like,
Yeah,
you gotta
actually
push
turn
that
the
son of a
bars.
bitch, and you know, and it'll flip too. You have the feeling that if you slam the rear brake on and turn hard, you're gonna go over.
So, Bri, for
Well-
next year when you get yours, you'll need to know that.
Yeah. So I missed the
Road
first
Glide
part of
trike.
this show, Bri. What was your thoughts, Bob D Woods? What was your thoughts on the premiere today?
I liked it. I think that the expanding the touring line, especially having a smaller touring bike, I would argue. I think having a small touring bike and a larger touring bike that are both performance based is a huge win. I really do.
Yeah.
I'd like to see a little bit more aggressive coloring in the ST line. I think the flat bikes are not my thing. But as you pointed out to me the other day, two-tone bikes are for old people. So I will be getting a single colored bike next time.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Yeah, vivid black. You can't go wrong, Bri. No, as what Bri said, I think they're going smart. You know,
I
bringing
can't find my car keys, let alone get a vivid black bike.
Bri, you can get any color you want as long as it's vivid black.
Okay.
That's right.
Well, hey,
No,
DaBeard, to answer that, if we both didn't have our road glides tomorrow and our wives didn't want to ride with us, we'd get a road glide ST, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
I'd give it a shot. I mean, the performance baggers aren't my thing, but I do like what they're doing there. I would definitely.
Oh, wait a minute. A few minutes ago, you're making fun of us for riding 55. So,
Well, listen, I can speed on my 103. I don't need that 117 or whatever you guys.
yeah, I was going to say my 103 goes fine, but
It's all
Hey,
about
but-
it's all about the balls to do the speed limit, not what the bike can do.
Hey, come on. My 95
resemble
will go
that.
just fine. You know, you guys up here with your 100+ cubic inch motors, my 95 inch is just fine, all right? Come on now.
you go to
Right, don't you
Starbucks
live-
with
Don't
it.
you live in Whiting? Right?
Hey, you
Don't you know what?
Don't you live in Whiting?
No.
No. Oh.
Whiting. What do you mean?
In Whiting, New Jersey.
No, I'm in Edgewater Park.
Oh, okay.
I'm not that far from you guys.
What's your street address?
What's your SOC? What's your security number, Brian?
Just type it in the chat.
Wait a minute. Are you calling because the IRS security is on the way to arrest me because I'm paying my bill?
Hey, Brian, all I need is your routing number and your bank account number, Social Security. We're just fine, buddy. We'll still be friends.
Okay.
So
I
the
thought-
thing that when we were talking about this, when we were sitting there, the lowrider FXRT thing, which looked a lot better in those videos than the pictures. Like when I saw the pictures, I was like, that thing's not very good
Hey,
looking.
Toby.
When you see the video, I'm like, it's not bad.
A
But
ton better.
and I said to the missus, I go, would you want one of those as your second bike? And she said it beautifully when she was like, no, it's still a small bike.
Yeah.
It is. It's a little bike. I don't know if you've sat on a lowrider. That's not a big motorcycle. And the
Oh, it's
dudes,
not.
any of our size, maybe Bodine, you skinny bastard, but any of the rest of us on that lowrider, you look like a bear on a roller skate. Whether you put fairing and bags on it or not, you still look stupid. So
So we were
No, I
talking
think
about
that's
that.
your entry level. I want to say, you know, getting into that touring model for a guy that's, you know, early mid 20s, you know,
Yeah.
they're kind of starting that early midlife crisis, you know, and whatnot, but still, you know, really paying attention to me, you know, the stunts the stunt scene, guys doing wheelie bikes, playing with the low riders, Dynas and whatnot. I think that's really geared at those guys, and he's gonna. It might be a great selling point for that age, that age range.
So, what was your point,
it's a
Bob?
good business move.
Yeah, I think we talked about it earlier before DaBeard and Monkey got on. Is I think that Harley knows that we know they make money in big baggers, right? So why are they doing this one? Because it's bagger, close to bagger, right? So, and you don't want to become just a bagger company, right? So you start getting something that's closer. You get somebody in their 20 or 30s that live out west. They ride it a couple years and go, oh, I need a road glide, right? I don't
Mr.
know.
Monkey just said, or women who want a bagger.
She is right. My apologies. She is right.
Yeah, because basically it's from the back, it's a sport glide sort of setup, but with the bigger fairing on it. I'd be curious to see how much protection that fairing provides, though.
So if you're a lady and you don't want the heavy bike, maybe you go there, right?
Still 200 pounds lighter.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah. We're going to sell a whole lot of those to ladies.
Yeah.
What? I don't know. Yeah, you never know.
DaBeard, why did you show us your glass? What was that all?
Because somebody asked me if it was Long Island iced tea.
Oh.
It's a milkshake IPA and it's delicious.
I had a few.
This is Blue Note whiskey from Nashville, which is 110 proof bourbon, and it's I like it, but damn.
I started with some Voodoos.
Voodoo's nice.
Hey, DaBeard, I knew you were going to be on the show tonight, so I didn't pull out the Coors Light. So Samuel Adams, okay? No, that bad too. Fat tire, dude. I'm trying.
Be any more big box store?
I'm trying. You know what? I honestly think of you. There's this pub we always go into. I'm like, what do you got locally, right? I'm telling you what. I could do the whole baggers and brews thing. I'm telling you. If you guys are looking for a fourth, let me know.
We got an opening.
Really? Okay. I'll send my resume over.
Well, Dallas wants to know, Bodine, what you think about the windshield on the new Performance small bagger. Is it big enough or?
So I was in the dealership the other day and I'm looking at the new Road King. And now I can't look at a bike that has a big windshield on it without thinking of you. I'm like, holy shit. I got a bigger one than that.
That's what she said.
Yeah. And I kept that damn thing too, just as a future joke or video, just so you know, it's just in my garage still. So.
There's a windbreak for the winter by your house. You just put it outside and the snow doesn't get to the house.
Yeah, 3 neighbors down don't get wind because I got it.
Now, does that lower your gas mileage to like 4 though?
Yeah. Another thing about the CVOs that I lost not a bet but a argument with my buddy Joe. My buddy Joe just bought the blue and black, what I call cop bike, 22 Road Glide Special, blue and black with the chrome motor. And before he even takes it home, they're putting the 131 in it. And I said, but what about the CVO? What if because that's still a lot of money, man. You bought the bike and then you put another $7,000 or so into the motor and you bought a bunch of other shit. And I'm like, what if that CVO comes out with a 131? 2 things. He said, first, it ain't. And I thought sure it was. He goes, and secondly, if it is a 131, it's going to be damn near $60,000. It's going to be all the money.
Yeah.
And so my point is, I was really disappointed to see the CVO is still at 117.
Okay, but
do you think it should have the 131 in it by now?
All right, I'll stir the pot here. Do you think that the CVOs are phasing out with that generation that wanted to put the money into that bike?
Well, if you see what they said last year, that the CVO is a huge money maker. They sell out of them, and no, it ain't going away for any time soon.
Okay.
But I think that if you look at the CVO line going all the way back to 99 when they first started with them, they always had the biggest motor Harley sold, and they don't now. So I don't understand why that is. So I would also raise the question. I've heard some stories, people 131s having some issues.
Mhm.
So is that what it is? Like they don't trust it enough to make it a mass? Well, it's not that mass produced, but we're talking several thousand.
Well, we were talking about that earlier. That is that a legality? Are you pushing? I still think if you with a 131, you're starting to push that bike beyond its limits.
I agree, and you
mean, if
to
you-
that point, you're getting those cubic inches that much bigger. All this, you're doing all the shit to the motor. Where is your longevity going to stop? Because you're pushing it so much to the bottom end. How much can it take?
Well,
You
and
take
can
a
the,
117, a 114. You go back to some of their older motors that are going to go 100,000+ miles before you even got to dive into them, and you start going. You get to that frame of mind, bigger is better. But at some point, there's going to be a give.
yeah.
So we've talked about this before. I am Mr. Cam. Like that's just stage 2 is where it's at as far as I'm concerned. And the number on the 131 kit is 120 horsepower, 130 pounds of torque, I think. And the wife's 117 is bone stock other than a tune and a cam and good exhaust. And it's 120 horsepower and 123 pounds of torque. So I'm like, that's a whole lot of money for 7 pounds of torque, and a lot of heat. And some people actually even ask about mileage. I'm sure somebody's burning more gas. The cylinders are bigger. So not that I wouldn't go 131. I just wouldn't go Harley's 131. I go with an SNS 128 or Moonshine setup where they use a bunch of different parts or,
Bob, we need to get a 131 in your bike so you can give us some feedback.
Sorry, dude. Not happening.
I mean, it's like mine. I got an 88 with, about a stage 2 cams, head job, exhaust, tuned and whatnot. And, I'm at 105,000 miles on it.
And that bike's faster than a lot of motors, a lot bigger.
And I've, I did, fuck around with a guy in a new Road Glide 107 and blew his doors off and, playing stoplight to stoplight, green light gone. But, you get some of these older motors, you do a little bit to them. The cams make a huge difference. Well, not huge, but it is a significant difference. I got all the dyno sheets. My bike's been dyno tuned. I'm the second owner. The first was my dad. And, you do a little bit to it. You can get that little bit of extra horsepower, a little bit of more torque, but you're not going overboard where you're going to totally blow out your longevity, where you're still going to have plenty of fucking miles and enjoy the fucking ride.
I really wanted.
Hold on. Who was that?
My question is, at what point is the motor big enough? Like, everybody's worried about a 131. Like, at what point is it big enough that we don't have to go
80?
Yeah.
80 was fine. The Evo was fine.
I mean, look at your average CVO rider, right? It's dropping that kind of coin. They're usually, they kind of tend to be the weekend warrior type businessmen with lots of money, right? Like, how big a motor do they need? They probably can't even handle a 107.
Well, they're buying the paint and the accessories. They're not buying the motor, really.
Right, they don't care about the motor. It seems like it's all the people that wouldn't even ever buy a CVO that aren't even in that price bracket that are always worried about the size of the motor. We had this conversation earlier today on the Badgers live when they were actually doing it live for the reveal show, and there were some comments in the side chat about it not being a 131, and it's just like, why do we need a one? Like, why do those people that are buying that CVO, those style of people and the riding they do, why do they need a 131? Why do they need all that power?
I think
What were you gonna say?
Price point. If you're spending that kind of money, then I think bumping the price $5,000 and putting the 131 in it from a marketing standpoint makes way more sense than the most expensive flagship bike you can buy. Still doesn't have the biggest motor for all that money. Like, you got the Joes of the world who bought a 22 special and is putting a 131 in it. But if the CVO had a 131 already, he'd probably be a CVO buyer.
Yeah, but some of the guys, I think it's more, a status thing. Hey, look, mine's got a 131. Well, that's great. What's your odometer say? How much do you ride? What do you do?
Yeah.
I mean, sure. Last year, I didn't get near the amount of miles as I did. In 2020, I did, a little over 20,000. Not a lot compared to some, more than compared to others. But,
way more than average.
Super busy. But you know what? I want to get out and I want to enjoy the ride. and I want to have fun and not, I don't know if you want to say not worry about, so much my bike and whatnot. I'm one that's mechanic inclined. I can turn the own wrenches. I work on my bike. I do all the stuff myself. Me and my dad, we got a good shop bike lift. We got the tire changer. We got a lot of stuff we need, but you don't got to go above and beyond. Just say, oh fuck, look at me, look what I'm running. Well, hey, that's great. I don't need all that. I want a little bit more if I'm, too upright with my wife or whatever. There's different circumstances that come into it, but you do a little bit of build. I'm going to go, a nice little set of, like mine. I got the gear driven cams, head work done. The 95. I don't need to go to a 107, a 117, a 120. Sure, would I like to? I'd love an SNS 121, but I'm going to give myself just a little bit more oomph, and I'm going to enjoy the ride, and I'm just going to go.
Yeah. Well, Bob, you switched from you recently switched bikes, and you said you didn't find that much difference, right, with power in the bigger motor.
Well, I mean, I did some work to my Ultra Limited, right? So no, I can tell a difference.
Okay. For some reason, I thought you said there wasn't a huge difference in the.
Yeah, and I haven't done a whole lot to it. I mean, I know Monkey and I were kind of talking about. I'm talking about finishing the stage 1, right, just to get it done. And now we're talking about stage 2, and I'm like, yeah, I swear I wasn't going to go there. Because Bert, to your comment, it's like the people that have the iPhone. This is like a 10R or something. Oh man, the 12's out. I got to go get that. Other than I'm never going to use anything that's on the 12 compared to the 10, right?
I feel judged.
I know it's a different money, but you got a 12.
That's it.
You got to.
You need a cam.
There's the iPhone. There it is. There's the marketing. Next year, you have to line up to buy your Harley. You have to get it like there at 4 a.m, and everybody lines up to buy their new bike.
I wonder, Bert, to your point, is it get too big when people can't handle the bikes anymore? You outmotor the talent of the rider.
Oh yeah,
you got a valid point.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a whole lot of like, I don't know. Well, they have that much money. You got your Bitcoin kids that made a bunch of money if they're buy a 131, the R version, and die like 2 hours after they take delivery of the bike. Yeah. But whatever, it's not me. The reason I'm Mr. Cam is because it's what makes a Harley sound right. Like they come from the factory not sounding right, and you put a cam in it, the right cam, and all right, now it sounds like an Evo. It does. You can get a Milwaukee 8 to sound as good as an Evo if you put the right pipes and a cam in it. Her bike being a prime example. That's the best sounding motorcycle I've ever owned, and I've had an Evo.
Yeah. Oh, my dad's the same way. He's got a 19 Road Glide. Went to True Duels, new mufflers, and put a cam in it, and it made one hell of a difference.
They sound phenomenal. They get the sound while chasing.
Does it sound as good as my 04 with my cams and the twin cam? But hey, I'm a twin cam guy.
Twin cam, the problem is they always have to idle so high that it's never going to lope like a shovel.
Nah, well, yeah, mine's not that high, but I get what you're saying. Yeah. But I understand.
So why does everybody always want to increase the price of the CVO?
Hold on a second. What were you saying, Bob?
When are you going to go buy one, dude? You've been talking about this forever, and we know it's just natural to upgrade from the Ultra Limited at some point in your life.
Is that what I ride? An Ultra Limited?
Yeah, that's it.
I thought it was an Ultra Classic Limited thing.
Oh, I forgot.
Geezer Glide.
It's a Geezer Glide. Oh,
it's
yeah,
that
it
thing
is.
with a bat wing on it.
Yeah, Bert said that's a Geezer Glide and 2 tones bad, so I went immediately to the dealership and sold it and bought a Road Glide. And happy I did, so thank you.
I'm not going to lie. I mean, yeah, he's got me questioning it now. Maybe I take off tomorrow and just go buy a new bike.
Yeah. Well,
they won't have the CVO in stock, though, so that's not fair. Or the ST.
Could you update us all by like noon from the dealership, please?
Absolutely. I'll go live.
But for the right amount of money, they'll assign a VIN number to you right now. So you could call it, you could get your name on it.
There you go. You'd be like Ford. You'll get it a year from now, right? Like buying a truck from Ford.
No, right. CVOs are going to be dropping at dealers tomorrow. They time that shit better than they'll be there tomorrow. Like
master business people, Harley Davidson is. I don't care what anybody says.
It's the only company that's like, oh, we're talking, rumors for months, and someone saw this, and then all of a sudden the reveal happens, and 12 hours later, some bitches are on the showroom. Like, it's unbelievable how they pull that shit off every year.
Well, we were talking earlier about how, past years, the dealerships got the advantage of knowing what the hell's going on. Now the dealerships are hearing the day before, and when the truck shows up, and I can only figure that, they're spreading the news out before, in the old days, and that's why they're even keeping it from the dealerships. But dealership I talked to, the owner there, it pisses them off, to be honest with you, right? But they always got to figure it out. To your point, she knows the next day a truck's going to pull in with a bunch of bikes on them.
Yeah. Hey, Brian, I got a question. I've seen, DaBeard's got a brew, Bob's got a beer. I haven't seen Monkey pick up a glass, and you're drinking water. What the fuck, buddy?
So what's wrong with that?
This is
Oh yeah. Okay.
This is 110 proof bourbon.
I stand corrected with Monkey, so you're like the odd man out. What the fuck's going on, buddy?
Yeah, I'm drinking water.
Hey,
that's because we're with Brianna the biker.
Yeah.
We're your support group right here, Brian. It's okay.
Well, I mean, I couldn't figure out how to push the live button earlier. I don't think alcohol would have made this live stream any better.
Hey, Monkey, you remember when you were on our show and we talked for like 5 minutes? Bri did that when we started this show, and I was laughing so freaking hard I almost fell off.
Oh, yeah. Well, we had a great intro. Bri's like, oh, shit, I never hit the button.
Yeah, the night that I was on Bodine's, there were people in the side chat going, "Where are they?" And we're like, "What are you talking about? We're right here!" Like,
and then your wife came in, and she's like, Mrs. Monkey's like, "You're not live," and I'm like, "She's crazy. We're live. I see people. We're talking." She was right. I haven't questioned her ever since then. I got to tell you,
I never question her.
Well, you got to live with her. I mean, I'm a long way away, but she's smarter than us. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's a quote that's not going to live down for a while, Drew. Yes, that was, yeah.
That's awesome, Drew. She's in there enjoying, that nice glass of Chardonnay, and Bry's having some Arrowhead.
Yeah.
Bullshit. She's in there chugging moonshine and doing body shots off a male stripper in the living room right now.
Calling the attorney saying if he buys a bike tomorrow, he's out.
I don't know. Maybe it's just a lifestyle change. I live off my bike.
Yeah. Let us know how that works out.
Yeah. You better dish the water.
I don't know. We'll see.
No.
Go work out.
Mike will bike cracks me up. Says he's drinking Whistle Pig and he dipped his hangnail in it and it stings now. But it's killing the infection. You're okay, Mike.
Yeah. I don't think it's for medicinal use, Mike. I mean,
sure it is.
That is genius. How does anybody think of that? I love that guy now. Holy crap.
That's good.
That is good.
FXRST, Charlie says, why? We were talking about that earlier, Charlie. I think they're going to sell the shit out of that thing. I think they're going to sell it to young people who want storage space and wind protection but want to feel like a hipster on a lowrider S. And they're going to sell it to women riders like crazy because it's the perfect smaller frame, I don't want to handle 950 pounds bike. Like that's they're, Whit Mez is going to ride that sumbitch to Japan and back next week. I guarantee it,
No doubt.
Oh, yeah. I 100% agree with you, Monkey.
I would have liked to see different bags, though. I'm not a fan of those bags at all.
Well, they also mounted them, what they said, 2 inches higher because of to make it turn better. They mounted them 2 inches higher in a bike than they even do on the sport bike.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Bri, that means it's 2 less pairs of underwear, and you'll be all right, though.
There you go. What was that, Bob?
Rumor has it, some of those that got to the dealership, the people at the dealership, the owners are going, they look ridiculous with the bags high. But I haven't seen it myself, so.
And did you all pick up the same thing that the stereo is going to be an accessory?
Yes.
Yeah. Right?
Oh, wait. So you weren't asked, and DaBeard wasn't asked this question, although I think DaBeard was in. When you watch the premiere, are the Olins on the bike, or are they optional?
So I didn't notice that they were on the bike from the clips they were showing. I took that as being optional, but I'm not sure.
It is.
Yeah. But it was weird, though. I felt the way that they played it was trying to lead you to believe that the bike was coming with them.
I'm sure they did.
Yeah. I mean,
that did seem fuzzy. You're right. I thought about that, too. Like, what's on that bike, So on the ST, you mean? Or you mean the...
Yeah.
Yeah,
Where are
and
we
the
getting feedback
STs. I'm not sure.
So it's the same crappy suspension now you're getting unless you pay $1,500 for them. Upgrading, right?
It's still a nice option though.
Oh yeah, for sure. But would you go with that option at $1,500 or go somewhere else, right?
Is that $1,500 all around or just in the back?
That's just the back.
I thought it was just
Yeah.
the back.
Well, no, because you can get it cheaper than that.
Exactly.
And I think probably a better suspension.
Or people just throw it in so they can finance it, right?
Well, I mean, you can get Olean's cheaper than that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, yeah, and to your point, you could just roll it into the financing if you wanted to
Well,
do it. And I think that's what they're going for.
True.
Here's the thing: it can't be the Olean's because it's a monoshock bike. It's a soft tail. It's not a drag. It's not a bagger. So it doesn't have the same swing arm. It can't be the same.
Oh, the Oleans are on the Road Glide.
You're talking about the Road Glide ST and the
I
Street
don't know
Glide.
about the lowrider. I'm like, that doesn't have that.
Yeah, not the Lowrider. Yeah.
Yeah, that's something I was hoping to see too, is them to go to monoshocks.
Is my audio jacked up?
Yeah, somebody's got feedback.
It's not awful, but it's different for sure.
Huh.
They'll sell them like crazy. I mean, if I were 15 years younger and 100 pounds lighter.
And what was the numbers on those? 22 grand, 20, 22?
Oh, it'll be more than that. I bet it's 25.
On the lowrider. On the
No,
lowrider.
the low-
Lowrider, I bet it's somewhere 24-ish. You know what I mean? Something like that.
Here, I'm looking now.
Out the door with taxes and all that. Because
Lowrider.
the lowrider S is what? Somebody, they sell those by the dozen. So what are they like?
And they're not coming off that number. Whatever the number is going to be what it is for a while, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you go with the Ultra Vivid Black, it's 21,749 for the ST Lowrider. That's the thing.
Okay.
That's the thing that I thought was interesting is if you look at the price of the special for the Road Glide and you look at the ST, there's not that big of a difference. Not for what you're getting, I don't think.
So you're gonna be 22, then you're gonna call it 7% tax. That's before dealer freight prep. You know what I mean? All that bullshit they're adding on. I still think you're gonna be 25 grand out the door.
At least.
Well,
Maybe
and
more.
I
Yeah,
think
right.
too, if it becomes a hot bike, they're marking it up. I mean, that's just a given.
Oh, I agree.
So Pete says the regular lowrider S is 18.3. So yeah.
I don't know, man. I still think that they're really onto something with that the Road Glide ST. I really like that bike because that's
I think it's
at.
going to be hot selling.
I mean, if you go by MSRP, that's at 22. I'm sorry, it's at 29.9. So let's call it 30. And if you look at
That's
the
the Road Glide
special,
ST.
yes, and if you look at the special, you're looking at. Where's
The gray $600 more. She was just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then if you go with the Road Glide Special, you're at 27.4. So for what you're getting, I don't think it's that bad.
Well, the 117 to the 114 is a throwaway. I'll tell you right now, it doesn't matter. I got both them some bitches, right? It's the 117 is not more powerful really than a 114. According to the butt dyno, I talk about the butt dyno all the time because I don't give a shit what you do about putting it on a dyno and the number you got on the little paper and this, that, and the other. In the real world, riding it,
you
can't tell the difference.
You were talking about the gray color. What do they call that again?
Gunship Gray.
Yeah. Did I hear some people talking about that used to be just on the CVO and now it's on other bikes?
They called it different, but it looked the same. It was Battleship Gray before, and now it's Gunship Gray or the other way around. But it's not exactly the same. But the thing that sucks about that is you bought a CVO in 2018, I think it was, that gray came out. 2018, you bought a CVO for all the money, $40-something thousand, and then a couple years later, they come out with a bike that's damn near the same color. Like that's not cool,
It looks like a bandit car. Thank you, Jason. Thank you very much. That's funny. You go. You can put it. That's an idea. You could put a Firebird on the front.
Screaming chicken. put a screaming chicken on the front of that'd be cool as shit. If someone doesn't do that, it's a damn crime.
Yeah. Okay. Now you got me wondering. Okay. I think that bike would be better looking without the bags. That's just my opinion.
What, the road glide?
The
ST.
The ST.
Well,
Low
it'll
rider
come off
ST.
in a second. They're quick. They said in seconds they come off.
Yeah,
Okay.
they did say that.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think
fan.
they're going to hit the younger age group a lot harder with that bike. I think it's going to be a smart move for them, for that, 20 to 30 year age, riders, male or female. I think that's going to help their sales a lot with that bike. I mean, a lot of us guys, what I call that cruiserweight status, it ain't going to be for us, but that younger genre getting into that, touring and whatnot and wanting to have fun, I think it's going to be a smart move.
The missus just said they just brought in an entire new generation of Dyna Bros. Like they've
Exactly.
reinvented the Dyna Bro all over again now.
Exactly. 100%.
No, we
Vans are
established
gonna
what
sell out
the
of shoes, tall socks, can't be able to find them.
Oh, yeah.
Flat-
We're wearing hay
flat
boots and
hats
everything.
everywhere.
Yep, they're all over. Flip flops and fucking Birkenstocks.
Oh, there you
gonna be
go.
rallying.
Man buns.
If I could
Yeah,
grow my-
Bronco. They said the Street Glide the ST Road Glide and Street Glide do not have stretched bags because it's all about lean angle.
Okay. What
And
were you
aren't
saying,
they
Bob?
raised? Didn't it say they were raised? Like they're probably riding on ultra suspension.
Yeah, I think the suspension's raised. What were you going to say, Bob?
I was just saying, if I had enough hair, I'd make a man bun. Just saying. I just
Can
don't
you
have
kick him
that,
out
right?
real quick?
Yeah,
Brian?
I'm trying to visualize that in my head.
Come on now.
And Monkey has a wig. Maybe I can do that and put it up. Put it up.
Are you
in,
going to go with the whole Jason Momoa look?
Yeah, I could pull that off, right?
This is brilliant marketing. We always talk about platform technology, how they just take the same stuff and regurgitate it. The missus just went on the rabbit hole and said it's a 21. What is it?
2.1 on the regular Street Glide and Road Glide.
And it's 3. So you know what they did? They put the goddamn Ultra Shocks on it. That's all they did.
Really?
They took the bike, they put Ultra Shocks on it, which raises it 1 inch, and there you go. Now it's a performance bagger. I guarantee it. Like, if it's not the Oleans, then it's just an inch taller suspension, which is exactly what the Ultra Shocks are.
The same ones that are on the racer's bike. Lyman, he runs those.
He runs the Oleans,
threes.
though. Yeah.
Well, you can get
So on the stock bike without the Oleans, I guarantee they just put Ultra Shocks on it and they're done.
Well, I think the ST would look, the Road Glide ST would look cooler with the stretch bags. I think it would have looked so much cooler, like with the Avian Black wraparound bags.
Yeah, but then you're going to be hitting the ground going in turns. So,
Well, I appreciate you think I can ride like that, but I
DaBeard,
won't.
DaBeard, we can't hear you. We got no sound from you,
The
DaBeard.
only time I'm dragging a bag is when the bike falls over.
Yeah, there's like a foot when Bry goes around the corner from the ground to the back.
Yeah,
He
I
just
take
turns the bars. The bike doesn't lean. He just
I put on my 4-ways. I make sure everything's clear. I'm just taking my time.
Oh,
That's why
I
we
tell-
never see a video of you on the road. That's why, isn't it? Now I get it.
I tell people all the time I drug my crash bars once, and that's when it fell over. That thing was a bitch to pick up. DaBeard, come back. We can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Oh, there you go. But you're echoing.
I'm echoing.
No, you're much better than you were, dude.
Okay.
yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
I don't know what the deal is.
Man, we can't leave you unattended. That's the problem.
My tech guy's not here.
George is in here.
what do you mean? He's right there in the corner. His name's Bry.
Yeah.
So,
Bry from tech support.
so people drag their bags. Okay. All right.
That's
I
the
heard
thing.
that. That's not a life for me, but sure. Okay.
No, it's bags and floorboards, Bry.
Bags and full. Oh, okay. I'll have to try that tomorrow and see how it works out.
There you go.
I'm glad with the bigger wheels I put on my Heritage, because the floorboards on the 14 Heritage sat so low, and the boards are so low on the frame that I was
Oh.
every freaking turn I was dragging them things around, And if you're not ready for it, it'll scare you a little bit when you first make contact. You know,
Scares the shit out of you if you're not expecting it, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You got to get the titanium sliders for it so you can shoot sparks up
Magnesium,
there.
so they spark.
Oh, magnesium. There you go.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
gonna be real
magnesium will throw many colors of sparks underneath it.
cool.
Throw a little GoPro down there for a little video action. It's perfect. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but on an old man's heritage, that's not really a thing.
That's right.
You know.
Somebody in the comments are going, dude, you're riding a heritage. Quit with the
Yeah.
video of the floor.
With fishtails, yeah, there's no, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, no, you get the video. You're riding the road glide, and then when you're cornering, you're riding the heritage. You just put it in there and make it look good.
It's all about the angles. They'll never know you're doing
right.
it.
Since when
So
does
what's-
this Ultra have white walls on it?
Ooh, that'd be all right. Can see that. So how's the
Tiger
drone
says lose
working?
20 pounds. That's probably part of it, I'm sure. If I lost 20 pounds, it wouldn't have happened before. No, what I
That's
did is I put bigger
mean.
wheels on the bike, which lifted it, fixed all the
That's
problems.
not true because I dragged them when I rode it too. So.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So how's the drone working out, Mr. Monkey?
I haven't flown it in a bit. I can't use the video, so I don't want to do something awesome and then can't use it. So,
Oh, yeah.
although there is that voice in my head that says like, hey, you know what? You could use it. And I
Why
think the
can't
people
you-
who are getting dinged are the people who are like drone channels. You know what I mean? Where every damn thing they do is nothing but drone. Like the guy that bought the ghost town. You know what I'm talking about? It's the guy who bought a ghost town. Millions of views. He's in Northern California. His channel is not all drone, but a lot of drone, and I don't think he has a license. You know, so I'm just wondering if you couldn't get away with little bits here and there. You know,
Somebody's got to be
You can.
Somebody's got to be pissed off at you if you're just doing what we do, which is occasionally. Somebody's got.
yeah, but here's the thing though, like people fucking hate me. So if I did it, get reported within like 10 minutes. Like,
Yeah,
ah,
but you know
got
what?
him, you know?
I am hearing even of the reports, they can only get to 2 or 3% of those reports, right?
Mm.
But yeah, you're going to get somebody where you'll. Bronco Ride's a perfect example. He flies in the national parks. I do have to tell you a funny story. We were riding over. We were at some dam. It was myself, Bronco Ride, and Harley Davidson. And I didn't have a drone yet. And Bronco's like, yeah, let's stop. I'm going to get my drone out and fly over this dam. I'm like, man, this is cool. I'm looking at it going, man, I want one of these. So he takes it up over the dam. And all of a sudden he gets up over there, lost the signal. They got some sort of blocker or something. And honest to God, he is freaking out going, I can't see it. I've lost it. And me, I'm going back to my bike, getting my GoPro so I can catch this crash. He's still pissed off about that. But finally, we were able to catch it. But I've learned don't do that because apparently that's, yeah. Just fly. Don't be dumb. You won't get caught.
So the great thing about the one that the missus got me for Christmas, A, if it loses signal, it just flies back to where its takeoff point was and lands. And B, it won't take off if it's in a place where it can't fly.
Oh,
It's got it's the
Okay.
GPS stuff is online, and it knows, at least in the U.S., every place it can't fly. So according to DJI, if someone comes up and says you can't fly here, all you have to say is it's in the air, so I can.
yeah.
Like it's
Really?
yeah.
And which one is it? I got the Mavic 2, and mine doesn't do that. That would be cool, actually.
Mine's the Air 2.
Probably it.
So yeah,
That's a cool feature, actually.
yeah. If it takes off, you're golden.
Yeah, because do we ever look at signs of anything, right? So,
Well, it's one of those things that typical law enforcement think. They don't really know the rules. They just think they do. So they just say, you can't do that here. Like, well, yeah, I can. You know, like.
Yeah, it says I can.
The Russians are back. Hold on. I don't know why the Russians like me so much.
Yeah,
Let me
you
deal
guys
with the
quit
Russians.
supporting those campaigns, Brian.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. People call me. They tell me they need money. I give it to them.
yeah,
Holy
that's
shit.
fun.
Charlie says he's got the same drone I do and 4 others.
What?
What are you doing? Like you Terminator? Like
It just sounds like you need to go riding with Charlie and all your filming issues are resolved.
yeah, but there'll be drones flying at me while I'm trying to ride, like buzzing me every.
Yeah,
My neighbor
Left,
is
right,
another
front,
fellow
behind you,
gun
they'll
nut.
be everywhere.
Hey, I just can't wait to do the one where it follows you. I still don't have the balls to do that. I still do not have the balls to do that.
It's scary as hell when the first time you do it, but it's pretty cool.
Is it?
Yeah.
Now, has Mrs. Monkey gotten many HOA fines yet? Have the police been after her?
Well, it's only been a week, and this week has been hell. I've had to drive to Miami and back the last 3 days, which is 600 miles.
Ooh,
Oh,
that's
Like commute. Like the last 3 days, I had bullshit meetings in Miami, and I had to go 200 miles each day to do that. So we've had child duty and this, that, and the other. So this weekend, are you trying to do ASMR? DaBeard? What's going on right now at the whole?
DaBeard's like, do you want to hear my beard?
I was
Can you
kind of
hear me?
going blocking. What's he doing?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm trying to switch mics and see if it sounds any better, but I'm trying to do it quietly. And
Sing to us. We'll see how it sounds.
I don't know which mic's working now, to be honest with you.
I don't think it's that one. I don't think it's the good one.
No? Okay.
That sounds like a laptop mic.
All right, well, take your attention back away from.
I mean, he's got this nice looking studio and he doesn't have a sound guy. I don't know.
Aren't you the
That's
guy
awesome.
that dropped his mic at one time, Brian?
I've dropped it twice on a live stream. That is correct.
Protecting
We notice
my
he's
buddy
got that
Badgers and Brews.
product placement right there.
Yes.
Sure, microphone.
I have the Shure microphone now with the stand, and I've only dropped that once, but that's because my cat attacked me on a live stream. I don't have much luck on live streams because Kate was drunk as AF playing fetch with the cat and arguing with it, and I tried to get involved, and yeah.
Oh shit!
I don't know. I just hope that nobody gets hurt.
Hey, Brian, going back to the show today, I thought the show was pretty good. It's just kind of cool to see what's going on. See some new colors, and I don't think any of us are going to buy any of those bikes or other than you, but it's kind of cool to get a little buzz about riding when it's 4 degrees or 3 degrees at least.
Yeah. And I think it's exciting too to, like you said, it's fun it's something new and it's going to bring people in the dealership, and then you can walk out with a t-shirt or whatever and don't buy a bike.
Do you ever see those memes where people are fighting online back and forth and some guy has popcorn and he's eating it, watching everybody lose their minds at each other? That's what I was expecting today, right? Because you're always going to get those people that are like, hey, it's not enough, or hey, it was good. I will tell you, I don't know if you guys can think back 2 years ago, it was awful. Harley never does anything. Now it's at least they're doing something to what we talked about earlier, whether you like it or not. At least there's some movement, right? You may not like it, but
I think that, like it or not, they're taking the company into a different direction. And I think it's positive. The more people you can get into riding, the better. There was a lot of diversity in that video too. If you noticed, if you really watched that video, there was a lot of diversity, and I like seeing that.
A lot of ESG. Did you see Axel? Axel was in there.
Axel, who?
The Instagram. She went to Uruguay with Norman Reedus. What's her handle? I can't remember. She races. She built a Royal Enfield and raced it. Anyway, she's an Instagram in person, and she was one of the people getting on a bike. I'm 99.9% sure that was her. So
that's cool.
Here, I'll look it up.
Interesting. I did think it was kind of interesting that they had that whole little section on clothing. I thought that was a little
That
weird.
was like, so her handle is it's Axel.
Okay.
And she's one of the people I actually follow on Instagram and pay attention to because she's pretty cool. I just noticed that I kind of was watching closely to see, are any of these people that have been tapped recently on the shoulder by Harley going to show up in the video? And none of them did except Axel.
Interesting.
But I thought that was interesting. Like, she's the only person that was in there.
Yeah,
I was looking for Queen Sit. Like I was looking real close to see, and no, like.
Oh, that'd have been great seeing Queen Sit roll out on an ST.
Yeah.
Or Tall or somebody like that.
Oh, yeah.
They are starting to get them a little more engaged, I think, some of the big YouTubers. But you're right, there was nothing on this one. We're still waiting for you to show up on one of those. So Yeah.
Yeah.
If you need a monkey, let us know, man.
Well, and I think that a lot of that is geared from one of their new marketing guys, which I had on my podcast in the very
here he
beginning when I
goes.
started this stuff. Matt Swedlin, who was for an advertising company, did a lot for Harley, but then got hired by Harley and has kind of helped. I mean, not just him, but some of the other guys, which he contacted me months ago. They're trying to focus some of their attention to some of the, social media guys, YouTube guys, podcast people, to try to bring Harley into a different marketing environment where they haven't been. And I think he's part of that, and that was part of him before he started with that job, but he's trying to bring Harley into a different market where they haven't been before to bring more views to them and get more attention.
It's amazing. There's a lot of influencers that people trust, and I really wasn't just kidding with you, Monkey. Right? I mean, you got a growing channel, and you can help influence. And I think that people like you and Sit and Tall and even Shade Tree, I think, is getting a little more engaged in some of that stuff. I just think it helps. I mean, some of these companies get it. Custom Dynamics is a perfect example. Going, hey, let's just give some of this stuff away and have all these people share for us, right? And they make a good product and they're good people. So I don't know. I think it's smart. But I was surprised there wasn't anybody that maybe wasn't. I don't want to use an actor, but I know those are mostly employees. But I was looking for somebody that we may know on those for sure.
I think the influencer market's huge. I mean, if you can give a bike to somebody that's, that you have some relation with and you follow, I think that's just a huge win in marketing. I mean,
there was somebody said that they saw Ninja Natalie, Anders Eastern Seashore, Anders Eastern.
Yes, my boy Mikey. Mike.
Yeah. So Ninja Natalie, and I don't know who that was, and I just searched it out. Yeah, they're right but she's a fitness model, not all bike. Like I'm looking at her right now on Instagram, and it's all parties and fitness model, but maybe
she's like
we know how Mike
exactly,
spends.
Like us.
Yeah, we know how Mike spends his time on Instagram. I think is what we learned today. Mike,
she got like prime spotlight for a minute there. Now that I realize it's right, so he's right. She was, that was her.
Interesting, good call out, Mike. Yeah, I think that would be interesting to see if they could do something with people. I mean, if you have ambassadors, why not put them in there? They sent Queen Sit drones and GoPros. Why not have her in a video? Because Tall's been in a video. Why not harness that? I think that's could only be a huge win.
Yeah, I don't know. I think part of the problem is you got to look at it from a PR perspective. Is you got to think about what is this person going to do later. And I'm just not dealing with that because you have no control over these people who might do something incredibly stupid. I'm not saying them particularly. Don't get all bent out of shape.
No,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
no, I understand what you're saying.
Jason Momoa has got an entire staff of people saying, don't do that stupid thing tomorrow. Protect your image, this, that, and the other. One of us could do something incredibly dumb tomorrow, and we were just in a multi-million-dollar video. So that's why.
And probably will.
Yeah. So they ain't doing that.
If I land a multi-million-dollar deal, I'm walking the line. I'm sorry. I'm not spray painting my Harley.
Some of that's going to also come from, what, maybe it's my opinion, where's your media attention focused at right now? Who can we use to help fuel this avenue where everybody's looking? I don't know.
So Denver, sounds like you're looking to get a new bike. Is that what you're looking for?
I'm not going to turn one down.
Okay.
Well, here's the thing. I've gotten a couple offers, and none of them have been worth my independence. Not a single one.
Please tell me it was Honda offering you a monkey bike.
No, no, that I totally sell my soul for. No, I mean, like it just. It's. I've always been like, nah. Why don't we just keep what we're doing? That's or because I want to be able to say whatever I want to say whenever I want to say it, and none of them have said I couldn't. I'm just assuming like, no, you don't have any purchase over me. Like I can,
Yeah.
I was talking on the latest video, Monkey, about somebody that wanted to send out gloves and stuff, and they just hounded me enough to where I gave in, right? And the first thing they said was, hey, we just want you to know we're going to send you a contract. And I said, a contract? What the hell are you talking about?
over a pair of gloves.
Yeah, and they're like, look, they wanted a couple other things, but they're like, look, you need to film a video in the next 7 days. We need to look at it before you have a good day. Thanks, good luck, right? So,
yeah,
you do that once to folks, and then you lose all credibility, right?
Yeah, exactly. And all of a sudden your tone changes and you say different things, and people immediately are going to know that. Like,
yeah. Then
there was a video I saw once before I ever started my channel. I was just curious watching this person talk about how they were successful on YouTube, and I ain't knowing nobody, so don't cry. But they said one of the first things you have to do is decide what your brand is. And I was like, brand? It's a YouTube channel. You're starting the whole channel with an air of falsity. If you're trying to decide what your brand, what you need to do is sit down and think about who you are, and then be that.
Yeah, but I think that they're kind of when you say though they're the same things, right? Like your brand is that you're who you are. You don't shoot overly edited videos. You shoot very good videos, clearly, but your brand is somebody that people trust. I saw a YouTuber the other day in an interview that had not even 2,000 followers, and they were talking about how the goal was to quit their job. I'm like, come on, like,
let that go.
Like you're already
unless you have a really shitty job. Then
well, yeah, I mean, you're flipping burgers, but
if you're a busboy or something, yeah, you could probably make that happen.
But right away, it was like, well, what's the goal of your channel? And it's like, oh, I want to quit my job. I was like, come on, man. Like, can we stop this shit?
Yeah.
It's right up there with the people that it's like, I put out a video. Who can I call to get free stuff? It's like, come on, can we just a little bit of work into it?
I just think that if you haven't even started the channel yet, the word brand shouldn't have entered your mind.
See, I hear that in marketing every day, so I guess it's a little different.
But that's what I do also, because that's different. If you start a channel with, I'm in business development for a living.
Mm-hmm.
I would never map that crap onto a YouTube channel. I just wouldn't do it, because this audience can smell BS better than any audience on the planet, and they're immediately going to, oh, this dude's fake. I'm done. Like, it's just never going to happen. Whereas if you're selling a product on television, is a totally different deal.
Plus, it's too much work to not be yourself, right?
Yeah.
Why do you do that, right? So.
Yeah, I don't have the ability to turn that on and off. That's tough.
I just do want to know why all the Russian folks are always on your live streams, Bri.
It's ever since I bought that mail order bride, I've been getting a lot of followers. So
yeah, dude,
I guess she's drunk AF.
Yeah.
Hey, Bri, clear your browser before you go to bed, dude.
Yeah.
They said they were stuck here and they needed money. There's nothing I could do. I had to help them.
Yeah. Keep giving them your account number, and you're going to keep getting them coming to you for sure.
Well, now you say that, maybe some of that free stuff I got's not really coming from who I think it is. It could be the Russians.
There you go.
No, it's come from China, buddy. You got to quit buying that Wish.com.
What? It looks
Salty's
exactly
here.
the same.
You just highlighted
Salty's. I bet you Salty was so excited watching the Harley announcement. I bet he couldn't. I bet he lost it. He was so excited.
He probably was really excited when he watched the Road Glide beat the Challenger on the bagger. I'm just saying he probably was really fired up for that.
Yeah, they did talk about that, didn't they?
Oh, come on.
The strategy was, let's get all the Indian folks off this video real quickly.
They just lead with that.
That's right. We'll lead with it.
Dude, Salty said something the other day. I was laughing hysterically, and he meant it. I know he meant it. He said something about like the Challenger has the adjustable windshield. He goes, I mean, mine's broken, but I just started rolling, laughing like.
Oh shit, that's awesome!
But it's got a windshield.
It's got a windshield, and it is adjustable, but it just quit working. Like I laughed so hard at that. Like,
that's funny.
They should have opened it up with we beat Indian. You know, that company that was formerly Victory that sold out.
Hey,
before that was Polaris.
If you need a windshield, just give me a call. I got one.
Yeah, you could probably make two out of his. You could just cut two out of it.
Yeah. Hey, if you need something, I got a promo code for long ride windshields. Just hit me up. I'll help you out.
Do they sell the motor that fixes the Challenger windshield that goes up and down though? Is that?
Well, no, that's a whole Polaris engineering problem. You got to go a few generations back.
By the way, the motor is $3,400. Just
the Indian broadcast might have happened. They're like, look, we're just sold the same thing. So, they're going to be a new paint release, I think, Salty or Bronco. I don't see anything big coming out of this. I think they're going to be on their heels for a while after the announcement. That's just my opinion.
Well, yeah, we actually were talking about that when we were watching it because I'm not anti-Indian. I had a bad one, but it was just mine. But I'm not anti-Indian at all. As a matter of fact, I think they're really good for Harley to make them do better shit. They have some competition. But the Sportster S kind of whips the friggin' Scout, so that's no longer a thing. Sportster S really runs with the FTR and is more rideable. I've never ridden an FTR. I'm just saying that, like, you watch like Fortnine's video on it. It's not a bike you want to get on and go very far on. It's not, it's just they really don't have anything in the game now. Like, Indians got to figure something out now.
Yeah,
right.
All they've got is that the Challenger is indeed an interesting alternative to a road glide. That's all that's left because the Chieftain is just an unimpressive street glide, or at least not unimpressive. It's just a street glide kind of similar bike. It's not better. Yeah, Salty says would be a bear on a bike on an FTR. I would look hilarious on an FTR. I should go ride one and video it just for.
I think that's a sponsorship deal.
Should.
No, I reached out to Indian a while back saying, I had a video where I had a bad Indian. Prove me wrong. Why don't you lend me a Challenger? I'll try it out. And they told me to go fuck myself.
Oh, that's harsh. I'll be right back.
Yeah, well, fuck that.
So I was like, guess we won't be doing that.
Oh shit, that's good.
I didn't say give me a bike. I said just lend me one for a week or something. I want to try it out. Maybe I was wrong. They weren't willing to bet that. I guess
Not very confident, are they, that you're not going to make
not.
a second crappy video about their bikes, right?
Yeah. Oh my God. Buffalo says all Indian has now is Salty. It's like,
fuck, that's awesome.
Like they're on the ropes going, well, we do have that cool guy in Texas. That's all we got left.
There ain't much faith left. Just Texas.
Meanwhile, the 15 people in the StreamYards going to every one of our channels going, F you guys, I have an Indian, right?
Right.
That's all right. You got to laugh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes, I'm fully hydrated. Thank you. So that brings up an interesting point. We haven't seen the Indian versus Harley web series lately. Did you notice that? Where they were pulling the taco truck and talking about how great the Indians were?
Yeah.
That died a death. Did we lose DaBeard? Or is he just...
he's there.
Can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, we can hear you.
He's just a deep thought.
No.
Yeah, I thought he was meditating.
So I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to sit here talking to myself and have you guys not even acknowledge me because you couldn't hear me.
Well, we could not acknowledge you anyway.
It was just a weird catch-22. Yeah, let's just...
Hey, if we all give $25, we can send him a new mic.
Here.
Well,
Salty. I want you to apply to be an ambassador.
I will take it.
Salty,
Yeah,
I want you to
Salty.
apply to Indian and say, I'll be an ambassador if you'll fix my windshield.
There you go. So, hey, all right, guys. Hey, I got to jump off, man. I got to.
Okay, buddy. Thanks for joining us.
To work. I'm going to head to bed so I can do that.
Make sure you check out Denver's podcast. There's
We'll
somebody
talk about-
interested. Wait. You got to plug it. Who is your guest this Sunday?
The one and only professional monkey right there in the bottom right hand corner of your screen.
Yeah.
How anticlimactic is that?
I expect
right.
hard-hitting questions. I want to see him cry like a Barbara Walters special.
Hey, I've been making up questions and doing voice memos to my notes while I drive down the road in my semi every day. So
I'd be willing to bet what he's going to do is cut my
prepare
responses. Where it's like, yes, I have always loved boys. Like he'll cut it together where my responses are.
No, his editing skills aren't that good. Trust me.
You should get a representative Indian to be on, so you guys can all chat together.
He's gonna pull an Oprah. Were you silenced or silenced? I can see
that's
it.
good.
So make sure
All
you guys when's the live? Make sure you tell everybody.
It'll be Sunday at 4 Pacific time. That for all you East Coast guys, that's like 7-ish.
So 7 Seattle time. Okay.
Cool.
Hey Brian, fuck
Yeah.
off.
Okay. You're welcome.
That's 7 liberal New York time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. 4 o'clock for us guys on the left coast.
We'll leave it right there. Okay, bye. We'll miss you, Felicia.
Oh, you're an asshole. Later, guys.
Hey, Denver.
I'm looking
Where's he
forward.
from? Where's he at?
He's in Washington. He's in Port Angeles, something. I forget where it is, but every time he says he's in Washington, I was like, oh, that's right. You live in Seattle, and he gets really pissed. So every chance I get to bring it up, I do.
Wow.
He's a good, solid dude. He's got a great podcast. He's had some really good folks on there.
I got to ask a boring question. This is for everybody, but Monkey too. I think we do a lot of the same business, right? Do you think the executives at Indian really sit around and say, "How do we beat Harley?" Or do they sit around and say, "How do we grow Indian?" And I guess because as Harley guys, that's what we think, right? Is we're always comparing them to Harley. Do you think that's really what their goals are? I don't know. I don't know if I made.
I think they should be. If they're not having the conversation, they're nuts. I think they should be not necessarily beating Harley, but it's how do we differentiate? And so far, they've done it, I think, in not productive ways. In some ways, like the thing they had was the historic vintage look, and they completely walked away from that.
Mm-hmm.
It's gone. Like you can't get the real pretty Chief anymore. It's gone. And that was a beautiful bike. It actually just came into its own. It's last year. You could get that thing in lace wheels with white walls and one of the prettiest metallic reds I've ever seen painted on a bike new. And they're like, people like that too much. I'll just walk away from that. Like they just dumped it. And they've got this new Chief now, which I don't know what that is. A giant Sportster? Or I can't figure out and I apologize right now to Jason because he's one of my favorite people. And I know he has one of those new Chiefs, but I don't get that bike. I don't understand it.
Yeah. And some of the comments, I agree. It's about market share growth. But when you're are they number 2, number 3? When you're that far behind, where do you really go? You want to look at those folks that are whipping your butt. But do you think somebody really thinks that they're going to overtake Harley, or they go, how did we differentiate ourselves and be a solid number 2 and bring new people into riding and all that stuff? I don't know.
I think that I originally have come full circle on this, and I think they did the new Coke when they did Indian, and they should have gone harder on Victory.
Yes,
because those
100%.
were American bikes that were different, and they were getting pretty badass with the Octane and the Magnum. And you started going to Sturgis and seeing a lot of Magnums rolling around, a lot of money spent on them. And you just took all those customers and said, kick them in the balls and walk away. And that's what they did to try and go after something historic. And then they took everything historic about that brand and threw it away. So I don't know what they're doing now. Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, but do you think that there's a large market for people that want to ride a historic bike? I mean,
They thought so.
Well, yeah. I mean, they thought New Coke was good too.
That's what I mean. I think the Indian might end up being their new Coke.
Interesting.
I'd love to see the 8-ball come back. I love that bike.
Yeah, the Vegas,
was a fun little bike.
The Arlen Ness Vegas that they were making, that was just fat, and it was a little, American chopper, but you could modernize it, But
yeah. So why have you been so quiet, DaBeard? What do you think?
Now
we lost
silent.
him.
No sound at all now.
Well, I'm here.
Okay.
That was pretty good. But he's got the hat off. I can't. This is all different.
He's rocking some cool hair. I like that.
Yeah, he's got that whole rocket
you prick.
Man, that's sharp.
Real men are.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, Indians got to be. I mean, they can't be sitting there thinking, how do we be number 2? I mean, they got to be thinking, how do we be the best? How do we overtake Harley? I mean, obviously, it's not tomorrow. It's not going to happen tomorrow. But they got to be thinking long term, like, how are we going to be number 1 in the market? No, wrong.
I think the first thing I saw that there may have been blood in the water was when we went to Sturgis in 20. Oh, the wife fell asleep. If you went to Sturgis in 20 at the Buffalo Chip, they owned the Buffalo Chip for the last several years. Indian everywhere. Like all the amphitheater was wrapped in Indian logos and all around it. That was all pulled down. And
Really?
And that had to have been a very expensive sponsorship. But when you walk into motorcycle Mecca and it's gone, it's all gone. I was like, ooh, something trouble in paradise or something somewhere. And now it was all Russell Brown, motorcycle lawyers, and maybe just because they outbid,
Right.
But still, I was like, won't sell that. I actually thought when I owned an Indian when I was there in 17. Yeah. And I was like proud walking in and going, this is cool. Look, there's Indian shit everywhere. And I'm riding one, even though some bitch is broke. And then it's all gone now. So
And he can't get the windshield up or down, but other than that, you're okay, right?
Mine was like a Road King. Mine didn't move, so it couldn't break.
Yeah. I appreciate you telling us the windshield story because now I'm going to use that forever, which is, hey, I have an Indian. Hey, does the windshield work? Is it good?
I knew this guy's salty, and he's pissed. His windshield doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw him droop. I just kicked him.
Wasn't his GPS jacked up too? Wasn't like a little while ago, Salty was complaining about his having GPS issues or something like that?
There was something else. I'm not sure what it was. I know it was in the shop for a while. Yeah, Vern's right. BMW is the one making a run for Indian spot with the R18. But if you ride one and you see that it's a mid mount because you can't get your legs around that motor, you can't stretch out. There's no cowboy style riding on that bike.
They have the highway pegs, but they're over the heads. It's weird.
Which means that you're in like stirrups, like you're at the freaking gynecologist or something.
Yeah, or you're gonna burn your leg.
Yeah.
Wait, what did he just say? It doesn't raise anymore.
He's got a taller windshield because it was broke. He's trying to be. Come on, brother. You don't raise it anymore because it's broke.
Do you think he's sitting watching us going?
I guarantee it. He's got his keyboard mounted upside down so he can type like this right now.
We'll see a video tomorrow night about why people hate Indian motorcycles. I'm telling you.
Could you imagine? Let's just picture for a moment. He goes back to Harley. I mean, can you just imagine the walk of shame?
That's a video in itself right there too.
Oh,
motorcycle.
Hey, look. You know what this is? This is actually an intervention. Salty, we're all here because we love you.
That's
yes.
Right.
I did it too. I bought an Indian and it didn't work out so well. And I went back to Harley. You can do it too. It's okay.
Because we love you, we'll come down and film you buying it in your first ride for you.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
On our way to Texas.
We're here to help, Salty. We're all your friends here.
Yeah, we care, damn it.
So, Salty, why didn't you apply for that ambassadorship? I think you should have went for it. Or maybe that's why they wouldn't let him be an ambassador with a broke windshield.
We can't fix his.
Sorry, we need a bike that works before we get
to fix it.
But here's a free T-shirt.
That's funny.
That's pretty funny. Now, I thought like I said, I thought it was good to see. There's been a lot of excitement online about the event, and I think that's always positive. And not everybody's going to like everything. I mean, let's face it. I don't think any of us would ride the Lowrider ST, but it doesn't make it less exciting to see people come into the market.
Right, for sure.
Yeah.
I do think, though, I still would have liked to see different bags. I would have liked to see bags like you see on the what are they? They're the Pelican style bags, but they open on the top. I've seen a couple people with those. It's that look that people like, or some sort of bag that opens on the top. I think the clamshell bags are just kind of silly, but
I think there's a difference when you go and look at the bike too. I think a good stop by a dealership and looking at them to see what they look like helps. Because I think
they're the Sport Glide bags.
Yeah, I think the colors on the CVO are going to look even better live, right?
I do want to see that green flamed Road Glide. I just want to see it. But the black motor really turns me off because I like chrome, and I think it has the black chrome pipes. And the black chrome pipes discolor real bad if you ride your bike. That's a
really?
issue.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it is a known issue. So
wait, so you're saying I have to get a chrome CVO or just switch the pipes out?
Chrome CVO.
I don't want chrome though.
But then you got black forks, you got black jugs and heads and
black jugs.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not against that.
I like jugs of all color. It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking. So, where do they discolor at the slip-on or at the header?
All the shields along the head pipe, and then on the CVOs there's even an additional shield on the muffler, but you probably change that. Here's the other issue: how are you going to put aftermarket pipes on it? No one makes that black chrome shit.
Yeah, they do. So Chromeworks does, don't they?
Chromeworks does, yeah.
They make a black chrome. Does it match it perfectly?
Yeah.
But
according to Tall, it does. What was that?
The Chromeworks ones are really nice. Bednar's from Cycle Fanatics has them, and they're really nice.
You can do the head pipe because the shields go over the head pipe anyway. That doesn't matter. But on the muffler is the concern. But so you're limited to one company that I think is just kind of okay, Yeah.
Hey, Brian, I'm going to have to roll, brother. This is way past my bedtime.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
I was just waiting for Bert to say something about it, so I thought I'd get in front of it. So.
Yeah, well, you're trying to do like 60 miles per hour right now, Brian, and Bob only does 55. So
yeah. Well, he's probably getting up early to go get that ST, so he's got to get in line.
We'll go for a ride at VAM, brother. We'll go for a ride together at VAM. How's that?
Okay.
No, he's got to get up early to get this deal at Denny's that he likes so much.
That's right. Hey, no, wait. I got to meet the guys at McDonald's for coffee.
Well, think how cool you would look going to Denny's on that flame trike.
Yeah.
There you go. Hey, Bri, thanks, man. I love your channel.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate all you do, sir. Thank you.
All right. See you guys.
See you, bud.
See you later, Bob.
All right. Now we talk shit about him.
That's right.
Such a cool man. That guy.
Yeah. They talk about somebody with a brand that's an act. I'm sick of him. I love Bob. Bob's awesome. I can't say a bad thing about him. He's been a huge supporter of my channel from the get-go. A huge help, too.
That's cool.
What are we talking about? Swapping parts? Yeah,
we were. I was already like, we put chrome pipes on it, change out the jugs, just to make the black motor not black anymore.
I mean, if you buy a Harley and you're not walking out with parts on it already that you just bought, you're not trying. So that's interesting about the black chrome, though. I didn't know that, honestly.
It clouds real bad.
So is that only on the CVO or is that on all the blacked out bikes?
Well, even the regular blacked out bikes have some problems with the shields. I've got a set of Screaming Eagle black pipes in my garage right now that came off Olaf's bike that are pretty fucked up. And the tips, the black tips in the Screaming Eagle mufflers, they turn purple. Like the gloss black tip from Harley on their pipe, it turned. I mean, we're talking Prince purple when damn things turn. So he rides quite a lot. So
wow. So you're making an argument to go with the chrome bike. Okay.
Oh yeah, no. I'm team chrome all day long. Like,
I mean, I've never, other than the slip-on tabs that I have now that I'm trying out, I've never had a blacked out bike. But I've heard people say that. Mike Anders, Eastern Shore, said that has the Road Glide. That was his complaint about the blacked out bikes. But I've never had any experience with them, so that's interesting.
My thing visually is that if you look at like Olaf's bike, the one that's in my garage. His bike came from the factory, black. I mean, it was like a vivid black bike, a blacked out Road Glide Special. and you couldn't see where the motor was because it was just monolithic, single color front to back. You know what I mean? Like the whole bike was the same color as the tires, and you couldn't see where things were. So that's where it wore off real quickly, and we're changing parts to chrome to give it some little accents here and there. As you could, I don't know, I can get more out of it.
Interesting. Okay.
You're DaBeard, you're chrome, right? You're not black. You don't like the black stuff, right?
So I have a mix on my bike. I would go all blacked out, but I don't have an all blacked out bike. But I do like the black. I love the chrome look. I don't like the upkeep of keeping it clean. I like them both, man. It's tough. I kind of like a combination of both. Right now, I'm like working on like a combination. I have a lot of chrome, but I have a lot of black, and I'm trying to keep like a kind of a mix, I guess. I don't know. Maybe
I like the mix. The mix I think is cool.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I was going for, but I don't know, man. I hate keeping chrome clean, man. It's so much work.
I push back. I don't think that black is any easier to keep clean because you got water spots that show up on a black rocker box as you do on a chrome. It's not any better. And if your shields on your pipes are rusting because they're not chrome is a lot harder than powder coat.
Right.
So when they powder coat shields, it's not going to be as resistant to rust as chrome is. I mean, I got the pipes in the garage that did not age well, and they're 2 years old.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess it just comes down to preferences.
Each their own, of course,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Listen,
Mike's.
I've seen murdered out black bikes that I think look great, and I think I've seen tons of chrome from top to bottom that look great. Like, I like them both. It's just, I don't know.
You know what I've seen that I really like that I hadn't noticed recently? People are building Viklas, like my Heritage, fishtails, big wheels, whole thing. Those blacked out look really cool because they're very rare. Like Cholo style West Coast Heritages or Road Kings, the big wheels and stuff are always chrome. And all of a sudden you see one of those blacked out and it's at least unique and different. And they're never all blacked out. There's always chrome touches here and there, but they look really cool like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's a preference thing. I guess it's always better on the other side, right? If you have chrome, you want blacked out. If you have blacked out, you want chrome. I guess maybe either way, I'm not going to wash my bike anyway, so what's it matter?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah. If you're not going to clean it, who cares?
Hey, Badgers, how are you? Badgers are in the house.
What's up?
So what most impressed you? I mean, Monk, what would if you had to pick a bike? No, money's no object. Of what came out today, what are your thoughts?
Well, money's no object. I would buy the CVO chrome orange Road Glide, but then I would have the body painted like the trike. Because the black trike with the red flames was really freaking cool. And when I first saw like the teaser stuff, that's when I jokingly said, I wasn't joking though. I can't remember whether it was Instagram or whatever. I saw that red flame and I was like, I'm gonna do something really stupid. If they come out with a chromed out CVO Road Glide that has that paint on it, done. I'm gonna buy that sumbitch. And then thankfully they didn't. So.
But you could swap out the pipes and just make them chrome.
But it's not even that red paint. It's the green flames. It's not.
Oh.
And it's a whole black motor with black forks and black wheels, and it's not too much to be done. You know what I mean?
I don't like when they make the model exclusive paints. Like if they made that green on the Road Glide, it'd be all over it.
Yeah.
I kind of wish that they
I
would.
do like the orange
the line.
CVO though. The orange CVO calls back to about a 2002-ish CVO Road Glide. It's a similar kind of orange setup, which is really cool. The problem is that you buy a CVO, and we know from the Mrs. bike, you can't do cool stuff with it because the paint's too expensive. So I can't put 4-inch stretch bags and an Advan Black Dominator fender on it because there's no mat. The paint it would cost me $3,000 in paint
Right.
to have those stuff laid out. Like, you know, like I can't do
Yeah.
anything with it. So because the black and red CVO this year, the black and red Road Glide CVO, I looked at one and fell in love with it, and it was last minute that was like, but then again, I'm stuck with the body as it is. I can't do anything with it.
Well, weren't you the one that was telling me that the move would be, and Mike Anders Eastern sure will love to hear this, is to buy a Road Glide standard with the nav system and build it out that way, because you could build it probably cheaper than buying the special, right? Because the special's got the lower profile tires, which I'm going
I think
somewhere
I
here.
said you could buy an electric light standard and do more with it, because the bike is a cheap starting point.
Okay.
I like the electric light standard because it's such a blank, canvas that it's a 107, yes, but if you're gonna pull all that shit out and put something crazy in it anyway, and you can put custom wheels on it anyway, and stereo, you could just put a Bluetooth amp in the fairing and some good marine speakers and get a better stereo than the Rockford Fosgate system. And I really like the electric light standard.
I just thought that I was thinking seriously about buying the standard Road Glide and then building it out, because to your point, if I'm going to stretch the bags and do everything else.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm sorry. Yeah, I may have said that. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, because I'd rather personally have the Avian black bags that wrap around fully than just the tip of the back bag.
Right.
Just the tip never works. It's never the truth. You never stop at just the tip. It's total bullshit.
Yeah, it's always the tip. Purple tip. Salty. Wait, Salty had a. Why did you get rid of it, Salty?
Because he hates Harley.
Yeah, I think he just deep down inside he wasn't hugged enough as a child, and he wants to be different.
So Badger says, "Look at the Road Glide Ultra with flames." Yeah, here's the other thing. I wouldn't buy another Ultra, and I know that's totally against what I've already said. I don't know why. If I was buying another CVO, I wouldn't buy a CVO Ultra.
Okay.
That's just a stupid preference thing. It's based on nothing and no value, and I'm an idiot. But I would buy a CVO Road Glide and build out another hot rod dresser. But if I'm buying an Ultra Geezer Glide distance bike, I wouldn't pay for the CVO. I would just get I don't know. That's just.
And they dropped that this year too, right? The Ultra's no longer in the CVO.
Yeah, there's the Road Glide Ultra CVO, but there's not an Electric Glide Ultra CVO. Do
you think that was do you think that that's an indication of where they're headed?
Oh yeah, they're selling more Road Glides than Electric Glides.
Yeah,
no doubt.
I thought that was interesting to see, because I've beaten this to death, but I still think the Road Glide is the direction the company's going. I think that Batwing fairing is going to phase out more and more. I'm not saying totally go away, but I think that they're going to put more emphasis on the Road Glide, because that's the race bike. That's the bike that's generating all the hype.
Yeah.
Because I know somebody today was telling me they reached out and they're like, I can't believe you can't buy a limited or an Ultra CVO. And I was like, well, I don't know. Is there a logical reason for that? Or are they testing the market? It's interesting. Or maybe they don't want to have two touring bikes as CVOs. I don't know.
It's expensive. Yeah, have two CVO baggers. Like I said baggers because DaBeard's on here and I'm trying to be nice.
Hey, wait a minute, Mike. I feel like he's calling me out that I'm going to a trike.
Damn. He just shots fired, man.
Yeah, that's all right. Well, the next time I ride with him, I'm I'm older, so my insurance is cheaper. I ain't afraid to total my Ultra and bump it into his new bike. So clutch slipped.
It does not make sense to me that there is no Road Glide trike. I don't get that.
I think that would be a really cool looking bike.
You imagine a
Road Glide trike with flames. That'd be badass.
There's no argument why there is no Road Glide trike. And I had, we had that conversation where I said my only point about Batwing versus Sharknose is that they both have their things. I own both, have owned both, they're both awesome. I just think they both have their things. And for some reason, YouTube being as it is, Monkey doesn't like shark nose. You like, no, man. What I said was they both have their things that they're better at. You know, like, so if they had that Red Flame Road Glide CVO, I'd be on the phone with my dealer tomorrow morning going, let's figure this out. You know, like,
Yeah.
because that paint was too badass, you know, to not have, but wasn't so.
Yeah.
I was surprised that Kate was really impressed with the CVO paint, but I don't know. There's still that part of me that would rather buy the ST or something of that nature and build it out than I would spending all the money on the Road Glide. I know your thoughts are different, but
no, I think it's that's fine, and you end up with a cool bike. But is it the bike you're going to own forever? Because you're burning money to build your own rather than buying a CVO, because the VIN number is what matters. If you're someone who's going to get a new bike every 3 years, building your own special, it's just as good as the CVO thing. Nah, you're just burning money, like, because that VIN number it's just a Road Glide. They don't care what you've done to it.
No, and I get that. I'm saying more of being able to put like the stretch bags on and things like that.
Yeah,
where I could make it not go crazy. I'm not talking custom paint job.
Oh, I see what you mean. You can't do that to a CVO because of the paint problems. And
I mean, my thing is I can take my Legends front and rear with me. They're lifetime guarantee. Put them in a newer bike, and then just make the bike a little kind of like mine, where it has a different look to it. I'm not saying it's that much different than stock.
Right.
But to Bert's comment earlier, and he's absolutely right, with a single color bike, you can do anything. And I think that I get jealous when I see people are like, oh, I got this Advan Black, big fat fanny to throw in the back or the wraparound thing. I can't do that without getting it shot. And then I don't want to pay the money.
You guys will laugh your ass over this. Just 2 days ago, I was on the phone with a good friend / brother at the organization, tell me name. And he got a minor tap in the rear end in a car accident. Somebody bumped him in the rear the other day, and a couple months ago. And he's waiting on parts. And I go, what do you mean you're waiting on parts? He's like, oh, the bags are fucked up and they ding my fender, and I got to get new mufflers. And I go, wait a minute, they scratched your bags in your fender? And he goes, yeah. And I go, why would you not get a Dominator and 4-inch stretch bags and everything for less than half the price and just pocket the difference? And he was like, what do you mean? And I had to walk him through, like, you're waiting on Harley Davidson painted parts, and his bike is vivid black.
Oh.
Like, you're waiting on Harley parts that are, who knows, $1,000 a bag. Who knows what the hell they get for those things? I'm like, in an afternoon, we could do a Dominator with CVO taillights, stretch bags, and the whole deal. And you pocket some money out of the deal. And it's okay. It's fine to do that with your insurance because you're owed the value of the stuff that was damaged.
Yeah.
So he's like, oh. Like, that's really cool. Like, that's what I was saying on that video the other day. Don't replace stuff with OEM. Always look for an aftermarket.
Well, and I still think those wraparound Advan Black bags are awesome. They're so much better looking than the special bags. I guess that's what my thought was. If you buy a non-special, well, yeah, I'd buy an ST and just change the bags out the bottoms. I think that I wouldn't care so much about the lean angle more than the look. Because let's face it,
there, an ST with stretch bags would be pretty cool.
I think it'd be really cool.
Yeah.
Give it and put the big pipes on the back to have that, so fill in the gap like that. I think it'd be really cool. So DaBeard, what would you buy? Money's no object. You can go out and spend what you want.
Man, I just want to customize my own Road Glide, man. I don't want the CVO only because for that kind of money, I don't want something somebody else is gonna have.
That's my thought. Yes.
So if I'm gonna spend that kind of money, I'd probably have this, the Road Glide special and just do stuff to it, man, and get my own. If I'm not gonna just do Advan Black stuff, which I probably would, then you're my own custom paint job somewhere. Like, I think it's a good. I don't think it's like a lot of people freaking freak out about the price of the CVO and whatnot. I don't think that's necessarily a bad deal. Just for me personally, for that amount of money, I'd rather go a different direction. You know, I think I think the CVOs for their target audience and the people that are buying that, I think it's perfect. I think those guys, are what everybody wants to make fun of the weekend warriors and whatnot, and the rich guys with money. Like that's who they're targeting. That's who's buying them, and those guys don't have an issue with it. So I don't know why we all get bent out of shape about it. But that's just not. I wouldn't buy it. Like I would rather just have like a regular roguelike special, and just do my own thing to it, and then just and if money's no object, obviously that would be really easy to do my own thing to it. So
Sure.
So,
I could see that.
That's about. I would just customize and get my own customized road glide special, and I'd be happy with that.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was going to ask you. I was going to send you a message the other day, and I forgot. If you buy a special, can you put the thicker tires on it?
You'd be downgrading.
You mean like the fat tire, like the?
No, I think you're talking about like the ultra tires that are more tireless wheel.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could. What you'd have to do is you'd have to find some ultra wheels and tires and switch them out. But what you're doing is taking a more expensive wheel off to put on a less expensive wheel to get more tire, because you do get a better ride out of ultra wheels and tires, which like the front wheels an 18, I think.
Yeah.
And overall diameter is the same, so you're riding on more tire. So you got a better ride out of it. But you'd be taking off something you've paid a lot of money for.
Oh, for sure. I was just curious if you could
do it. Sure. Yeah.
Because from what I've heard,
swap it out.
I've heard the special ride's a lot harsher than the ultra ride.
Part of that's
is subjective
because the special's an inch lower.
Okay.
As a shorter shock, so that's part of it. But something I saw recently that I didn't expect to have such an emotional reaction to it. We went to Orlando Harley last weekend when we met with Lady Timberwolf and hung out for the weekend. We walked into Orlando Harley, and there sat a 22 Road Glide Special in denim black. I sat there and I fell in love. Like, it had the cool special wheels, which were 19s, but still, I like that wheel's very cool. That comes on a special now that has the spoke kind of look and all that shit. So I'm looking at this bike. It has a chromed out motor, everything but the forks. But the paint was denim black. But here's what set it off: the inner fairing is gloss black. And if you see that in person, that is a beautiful motorcycle. Like, the way it sits, chromed out, cool chrome wheels, flat black paint, gloss black inner fairing. I'm like, oh, I could do some naughty shit to that bike. It would be so cool. Like, because I'm already picturing having somebody Von Dutch style stripe, a little tramp stamp on the back fender, red and white like they did in the 50s, and then something like that up front, and it would be so tough looking,
Yeah.
Isn't denim hard to care for, though?
Yes.
Yeah.
It is. You have to buy special cleaners and.
Yeah, that's too much.
Mm-hmm. Can't wax it.
Hey, listen, I'm gonna pop off now.
Yeah, I was gonna say we're probably gonna wrap up in a little
that's
bit.
fine.
Hey, we're gonna be live tomorrow night, man. We're gonna be talking about the same kind of stuff. If you guys are around, if you're watching or whatever, and you want to pop on, you're more than welcome to come on and talk to us.
Yeah, please check out their channel.
Yeah.
I mean, who doesn't know you guys? But
yeah, right.
Thanks,
it's all the same circles.
Yeah, appreciate you hanging out, sir.
Yeah, no problem, man. Good night, guys.
See you, buddy.
Right, sir. Yeah, I thought I like DaBeard's idea, and I can see it. It's kind of a toss-up. I mean, I can see where the CVO is appealing, certainly, and it makes more sense. But there's that part of me that likes the buying a cheaper bike and kind of avant black.
No, yeah. There's no wrong answer. That's the thing. There's no wrong answer. Like,
and quite honestly, for the amount of riding I'm doing lately, I don't know I'd kill it. I mean, it would be quite some time before I killed it. But
I love the paint on her bike so much. It's kind of a non-issue because I bought that #1 bike because I think it's still the coolest paint I'd seen in years. I stack it up against the 22s. I think that 19 number one, you know, Evel Knievel style 1970s race paint is the coolest I've seen forever. So,
Oh, the
I don't
one with the
regret that.
one we were talking about the other day with the white stripe. It has the white stripe down the center.
Well, there's that, yeah, and there's also the
Okay.
Skunk Glide that came out in 2012 or 13, whatever it was. That was a really cool bike. But so hers, we've actually said, I'm like, you know, I could probably work it out where I'd have to find a different tank and a fairing cap. But I told her, I said, I could probably work with Advent Black if you ever wanted to take that body off and put whatever color you want that Advent Black makes. And probably work that out where we would change the whole body to any color. And she poked around on the website looking at all Road Glide colors that have been made over the last, 20 years or 10 years that they sell. And she was like, no, that number one paint job is still cooler than any of them. So
Yeah.
I'm like, you could do the orange, you could do the Tequila Sunrise, you could do the whatever you want. And she was like, no.
Yeah, it would be yeah, some of these paint jobs, you start looking at them and you're like, oh man, it's only paint, but dear God.
Yeah. I do like that orange CVO 22 Road Glide though. The way they did it looks like the orange CVO Road Glide they did in 10, 11, 12, 13, whatever it was, the old fairing. But then they put these like shadow scallops on the bag. And like they went, there's a lot of detail in that paint, even though it's not all flames and stuff,
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I don't. What was it? Was it last year's? That was the red and black CVO that they had, the Road Glide. That was really sharp looking. It doesn't look in person. It looks amazing.
It had like faded scallops on, very 70s. That was really cool.
Yeah, and then they had the was it the Mako blue, where it had the black.
I was
and
never
blue.
into that. I know a lot of people were. The Mako was the same year as mine.
Okay.
Hers. So you had the Evel Knievel paint or the Mako. That was the two options. And of the two, I was like, the Mako is not nearly as cool as the number one paint. But I think the last 2 years, for the most part, the CVO paint's been pretty disappointing. They had like the black one that you couldn't tell was a CVO. And I'm like, you wrote that check and that's what you end up with? It was like a black bike with a black motor and it just had CVO on the bottom of the bag. And you're like, that is not special enough for that name,
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what's coming because they sort of left it with the teaser that there's a new Sportster coming. And then it opens up the door to a lot of interesting stuff. I don't know if you were on when we were talking about this, but did you see that they put out a quick shift for the Pan America?
No.
Yeah, so you can get a quick shift. It's like $300 because that was the complaint that I understand that people had about the 1250 being better, BMW being better than the Pan America. And it had me thinking, and I'm a nerd, we all know this, but could they adopt that into a touring line? Like, could that be what they could start doing? Like the BMW is how they have I don't know what the technical term is, but the clutchless shifting and all that.
Recluse, somebody in the side chat, correct me. Who makes? There are aftermarket clutch options.
Yeah, Recluse, yes.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there's some stuff out there already that improves it quite a bit, and we've talked about that with hers because the hydraulic clutch doesn't engage until it's like 80% out. And I think the cable's better. That's another thing that the jury's still out on. But my 21, the clutch engages the second I start letting it out, and you just got better feel on that than hers, which is almost all the way out before you get any grab.
That's how mine is. Yeah,
10% to play with the friction zone. So I'd be curious to see what Robert Simmons says about that, because to me, it feels like the cable's better. I know he's got both in his stable. He's got a 21 Ultra CVO, Ultra Limited CVO, and then I think he's got a 19 CVO Street Glide. So he's got both there. I'd be curious to see what he thinks. So,
yeah. All right. Well, sir, I appreciate you hanging out. I don't mean to cut you off when you got on.
No,
but
it's fine. Yeah.
It's been a day, and I got a long day ahead of me tomorrow. But so you're going to be on with Denver on Sunday.
We have our own live stream tomorrow. Well, we have
you Friday,
Baggers
right?
and Brews tomorrow night. I don't think I'll be on there because I got a buddy in town from St. Louis, and we're going to be drunk at his campsite, which would be great. So I might die Thursday night. Therefore, the live stream on Friday won't happen. But anyway,
just leave your password. We'll take it over.
Yeah, just do it for me. And then Friday night is our live stream. Me and the missus will be back right here. Yes, the pictures of the bikes will be on the TV because everyone was disappointed that they didn't get.
Oh, that's right. It's the first time we've seen you in the bedroom in a while, so things are better.
That sounded dirty.
Yeah.
So
it was awkward.
And then on Sunday I'll be on Denver's. So
okay, good. So you got a packed weekend coming up. I love your live. Your lives are fantastic.
We're gonna have some fun. We're looking forward to it because we've been apart the last 3 days because of this silly crap with me having to go to Miami every day. So I need this Friday night, and so does she. So it'll be a good one. I can also share that not only do I have a priest outfit that someone sent us, but someone sent the missus a nun outfit. So it could be downright inappropriate.
I will not miss that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. There might be masks.
Masks
Friday night.
Oh,
bring your own blessings.
Oh dear Lord!
You'll be like the power of Christ compels you. We might be like full on, you know.
Well, guys, as always, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Big thank you, Mr. Monkey, for hanging out with us. DaBeard, Denver, and of course, DaBeard. So I hope you guys all have a great week. What's that?
Bodine.
Oh, Bodine. Yes, I'm sorry. Now I feel terrible about myself. I can't get the intro started. I can't get the exit going. Oh, yes, Bodine, I love you. Yeah. So make sure you check out Baggers and Brews tomorrow and Monkeys on Friday. And then check out the live stream on the V-Twin podcast and with Denver and Monkey. Yep. Hope you guys all have a great week. Thanks so much for hanging out, guys. See you.
Take care.